844-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. The biggest games, the biggest rivalries, all right here, live. You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week pregame show, brought to you by Mr. Chubby's Wings on ESPN 690, ESPN690.com, and on Facebook at ESPN 690 Jacks. Here's Brent Martineau.
Oh, we got a good one here today from the Graveyard. Rains High School featuring the Vikings of Rains, the two-time defending state champs, hosting the Sandalwood Saints here on the north side. Should be a lot of fun. Brett Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan on another beautiful Friday night in the hot summer sun, even though we're switched to October. It doesn't matter in Northeast Florida. Once that sun goes down, it will be a beauty, though. And, of course, we have Willie Taggart as well on hand. Just flew in on the chopper to the practice field. We got some drama. Checking out Jeff Sims, the FSU commit, and maybe some other kids as well. So the Florida State head coach is in town here for this one. We're going to get you all set up. The Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show rolls on. But first, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with you on the Game of the Week on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
All right, so that's another example of maybe he's being a distraction to the team. Give me some more, Brent. What else we got?
Brinks truck,
and
you
then
said.
And we had the Brinks truck.
Yeah.
Players have shown up in old cars. Players have shown up in hot air balloons. This isn't the first time that someone showed up in an exotic vehicle to training camp. I don't see anything that's a big deal. Jalen Ramsey's not out getting arrested. Jalen Ramsey's playing football. Everything else, I'm cool.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Tonight's pregame show is sponsored by Mr. Chubby's Wings. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go before the game, during the game, and after the game. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
What's up, North Florida poker fans? This is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms in Jacksonville and Orange Park. The World Poker Tour returns to Jacksonville September 27th, and there's no better time to lock up your seat in the main event than right now. You will find satellites into the $5,000 buy-in main event for as little as $120. Satellites are going on now. Get ready to take your shot at $1 million prize pool in the WPT main event. For more detailed information, visit them on the web at bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, where anybody can win.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker's Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker's Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week pregame show, brought to you by Mr. Chubby's Wings on ESPN 690. Here's Brent Martineau.
Thanks for hanging with us on another Friday night, a beautiful one here in Northeast Florida. The Rains High School Vikings, 2-time defending state champs, hosting Sandalwood, the Sandalwood Saints, led by quarterback Jeff Sims, a commit to Florida State. Willie Taggart actually just flew in on the chopper, landed here, and will be here to watch Sims play on a Friday night since Florida State has a bye week. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan on your Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Thanks to Mr. Chubby's Wings, bringing you the pregame show as we're not a long way from kickoff. But first, let's go to our Lou Saab Honda of the Avenues. Keys to the game, Coach. What do you have? And welcome aboard on this Friday night.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be pretty exciting here tonight. Now, you got two really talented teams playing, and a lot of individual talent out here running around. It's going to be good looking. So for Sandalwood tonight, they've got to catch the football. Last year they had like 10 drops in the game where they lost 21-14. They've got to protect Sims. They got to keep him upright so he can do his thing, be able to put the ball where it needs to be, and then they have to win in the kicking game. Probably the one place we know for sure Sandalwood's got a real solid kicker in Christian Schultz, and real positive there for them. So they've got to win on that. And then flipping it over to Rains, they've got to get the offense moving very consistently. They've been sort of up and down. They played some real solid people with Jones and Lee early on the losses, and then Paxton and Stanton, two teams not the same caliber of them. They've got to be able to get off the field on third down. That sort of hurt them a little bit. And then the last thing, they got to eliminate the dumb penalties, the motions, the offsides that have extended the drives in those two big losses.
Keys to the game, Lou Saab, Honda of the Avenues. Keys to the game, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. We'll see if Kevin Sullivan's keys to the game play out for either team tonight as we get ready for kickoff here at the Graveyard. Rains Vikings High School home field. Great place, beautiful night, and we'll get a crowd that will filter in probably a little bit late with the 6 o'clock starts, but they're already starting to pack it in. Homecoming celebrated this week on a Friday night, even though homecoming weekend was last weekend. They'll announce some of the winners from homecoming. We're seeing that in just about each and every place we stop now, Coach.
Yeah, it should be, again, both these guys will be excited about tonight. You know, this is a game you look on the schedule at the beginning of the season, and they circled this one. Especially Sandalwood want to get the payback from last year.
And Sandalwood coming off a couple of losses now to Ribault and then Oakleaf. Rains coming off a bye week, so they should be well rested, and Coach Duran Wiley says they're pretty healthy as well. Rains will be going right to left to start things off, and Sandalwood will get the ball first here on a Friday night. Our Action Sports Shacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging out with us. The kick is taken about the 15-yard line and returned down the near sideline. It's a good return well as he popped out of bounds. We might even get a late hit. We'll find out. Hard to tell where that boundary was. He probably hit it right at the boundary.
Yeah, it looked like it right there. It looked like number 12 on the return.
Jalen Embry.
Yep, Jalen Embry. Good little return. Got a good blocking on it right there. We're excited to see how we do. Get a first chance to look at Jeff, for me personally, since last year. So it'll be good to see him get moving around out here early on.
And Sims playing behind an offensive line that's been banged up. Probably their biggest problem for Adam Geis and Sandalwood is they've got 3 offensive linemen that have really been banged up and they were relying on. And they liked what they had there, but now you have to go to the backups and you have to figure stuff out. So they have to do that midway through this season. Sims will start. They're going to throw it around tonight. Trips on the left, the receiver right. Sims throws it out to the left, has a receiver and a lot of space as well. Big gain first down on the far side in front of Sandalwood's bench, and that's Cornelius Forrest to get things going, the senior 6'4" tight end.
Yeah, real good-looking kid. Got an empty there with a tight end, so they had 3 receivers to the top and just sort of took what they gave him. That's sort of the key here. You got a sort of young secondary out there with Rains. Rains graduated a good amount defensively, so they're trying to find themselves still.
Jaquez Robinson will be out to the near side. That's Sims' right. He snaps the football, looks left, now rolls right, gets flushed. He's on the run, being chased, has to throw it to the near sideline and out of bounds. It falls incomplete.
Yeah, good pressure inside by those inside guys. Again, the guys up front for Rains. Number 9, Harding also plays wide out. He's been around. He's played a bunch last year. Cedric Newsom, the nose guard inside. So they're not bad up inside. They've got some guys that can really move around and really cause some issues with the Sandalwood offensive line.
All right, so we'll bring up a second down at the 35-yard line of Rains. First possession of the football game. Saints going left to right, 11:28 to go in the first quarter. Sims in an empty backfield, takes the shotgun snap. Now got a little bit of a jailbreak. He avoids the pressure, throws high and incomplete, so it brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, again, empty, and this time they brought pressure again for Rains 9. Harden was in there causing some problems. Again, 50 was in there. Goodwin, the nose guard Goodwin, 6', 285, getting good pressure. Again, they went after him on the empty package that time.
Well, the 2-time defending state champs, Duran Wiley, likes his defense. He's got a lot of talent there, but they got a lot of youth. Seems to be the theme with everywhere we go, Coach. The game of the weeks, they've all had a lot of young players, a lot of sophomores playing, a lot of inexperienced juniors playing. Well, that's the case out here tonight for Rains, too.
Yeah, again, but these guys have played in a lot of games, too, because of how good they were and how many games they played last year.
So 3rd down and 10 from the 35-yard line of range. Shotgun snap is a bit high. Sims handles it, looking left, and has a receiver now. Short of the first down around the 29-yard line. Looks to be Nick Brown on the catch. And it will bring up a 4th and 3, maybe 4th and 4. We'll see if Adam Geist, the Sandalwood head coach, decides to go for it.
Yeah, that was 20 Preston Jackson, one of the safeties coming down, running down through there hard, putting the hit on there. So it's going to be short yards. Looks like they're going for it here, Brent. Early on.
Yeah, why not, right? 29-yard line. Call it a long 4th and 3. Maybe a 4th and 4, short 4 yards, long 3. Empty set once again. Sims out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to the left.
Changing the play.
First possession of the game. Sandalwood going left to right. Now we get a timeout, and Adam Geist didn't like what he saw. Sims didn't seem to like what he saw either.
No.
And they call a timeout on this 4th down conversion.
Yeah, so again, you get 4th down and short, first drive of the game, get something going. Worst comes to worst, it's sort of in the spot where, well, if we kick it, they get the ball here. It still would be a long field goal, so they're going to take their chance and go for it. And then Range looks like they're going to play them in a little bit of man in that empty set. So what they're in is they're in a little 2 tight end set with 3 wide receivers and the quarterback in the back. So where most guys don't give you much tight end in the empty. So, again, something a little bit different. Coach Guy said today when I spoke to him this morning that that's one of the things they wanted to give Range, something they haven't seen him do.
So bring up a 4th and 3, maybe a 4, depending on which side of the football you're looking at.
Right, exactly.
But certainly manageable here at the 29-yard line, 28-yard line of the Reigns Vikings if both teams come out of the timeout. First possession of the football game, 10:32 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Saints driving down the field on a couple big plays and now trying to convert on a 4th and 3 to keep this drive going. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. Just a reminder, you can watch the game on all the video platforms, YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. It's out there. Mark Doherty doing a good job on the video side of things. And, of course, you can hear the football game on ESPN 690 on your radio dial and also on ESPN690.com. So here we go, back in play. Shotgun snap for Sims, being rushed, throws it left, up for grabs, and
good.
There's a catch on the far sideline, but is he inbounds?
Out of
No.
bounds.
Good defense by the Reigns Vikings as they forced the receiver out of bounds. That was Jalen Embry, and he made the nice grab, Coach, but couldn't get the feet in.
Yeah, really good job there by Sims throwing that ball high, sort of a jump ball in the smaller corner, who had perfect coverage. I think that was Christian McNair, the junior corner, and but he's got to help himself. He probably squeezed himself a little bit to the sideline by alignment based on where the ball was. So he's got to help himself and help his quarterback move it in. So this will be our first look at Reigns on offense.
And Reigns will utilize a couple of different quarterbacks now. They'll play Adrian Williams for the most part, but they've also been playing the sophomore Carlton Butler Jr. a little bit.
Right.
Mixing it up. They like what he gives them, so they have different packages in. So we'll have to keep an eye on the quarterback situation. Williams, number 7. Carlton Butler, number 6.
And again, they've got some big beef guys up front. So we'll get to the big hogs inside, but they always have some big old guys out there, Reigns.
All right, so here we go. Reigns Vikings going right to left. And they'll take over on their own 30-yard line, 29-yard line. And we've got a timeout before they even run a play. So Duran Wiley didn't like how everything was lined up with Adrian
he's not
Williams.
real happy right now having to take a timeout with the offensive guys coming on the field. Coach is not real happy right now.
Why do you coaches get so mad about the early timeouts? You don't need 3 of them in the first half anyway.
Yeah, it's just because you're coming off a bye week, so you should know. Some guys will script their first 4 or 5 plays or whatnot.
Yeah.
At least script some formational things to see what they're going to get. And so you've been practicing. All right, first play of the game, you probably put it in Monday, and then we ran it Tuesday to starting team, Wednesday to starting team, and first thing in run-throughs, and we can't get personnel on. So we're not happy about that. Makes us look bad, I think.
Absolutely. I think that's why Duran Wiley probably was a bit upset. So here we go from the own 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Reigns Vikings. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Adrian Williams, the quarterback in the shotgun formation, almost gets a Saint to jump. Didn't do it, though. Fakes the handoff. All right, Williams will keep it right side numbers and cross the 30 and up toward the 35-yard line. So a nice gain of 5 yards, maybe 6 on first down.
Yeah, so that was a really good play, little read play, a little power read play with the quarterback faking it in, and then he reads the end. The end tackles the back. He pulls it and goes. Good play.
2nd and 4 now for the Vikings. 10:01 to go and rolling here in the first quarter. Early stages of this one. 6 o'clock kickoff between the Rains Vikings and the Sandalwood Saints here on ESPN 690. 2nd and 4, kind of a bunch formation for the Rains Vikings. Williams in the shotgun, running back to his left hip and now in motion. The official calls a timeout because I think of equipment for the Rains quarterback there, Adrian Williams. So they fixed that chin strap. And now we'll buckle it up and go. Nigel Smith in the backfield off the left hip of Williams to get going here on a 2nd and 4. That ball keeps moving forward. Now it's at the 36. And in motion goes the Rains Vikings in the handoff, and they've got some room to run and
tackle.
then some. Miss a tackle. It's Jalen Griffin down to the 20, the 15, 10. Could go, and it's a touchdown for Griffin. Just a little jet sweep, handoff, and he goes 65 yards for the opening score for the Rains Vikings on the second play from scrimmage.
Yeah, and again, what was interesting about that is they started to run him in motion, and then they stopped it. The officials stopped it, and then they didn't change the play, so you would think the Sandalwood kids would be ready for the jet sweep.
And right after midfield, there was a missed tackle, and that was it. Griffin off to the races after that. 65-yard run play to get the Rains Vikings on the board. Just like that, we've got some early scoring and a good start for Duran Wiley coming off the bye week. He didn't like the timeout on the first play, but he likes that on the second play.
Yes, that's, it's coaching, man. You got to get them coached up, get them going,
Well, so now we await the extra point.
We have no kicking tee, so the kicking coach is getting ready to get yelled at by Coach Wiley because we ain't got the tee.
Nigel Smith, by the way, will do the kicking honors. He was also in the backfield on that play.
Yeah, again, Young, they have some kids, again.
There's a snap and a hold and penalty after all that.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
I actually think they might have they never whistled the play back into play, I believe. I'm not even sure there's a flag, Coach. I think they just got going. They snapped it before the official said, let's go.
I got you there. Yeah, so we'll have to see now. Okay, he kicked that one off the ground without the tee that time. They just threw the tee in.
So now they got the kicking block.
He's going to miss it now because they got the block.
That kicking block, that's been hiding for 2 weeks with the bye week. It was in the bottom of a bag somewhere. Couldn't find it. All right, let's do this. How about an extra point here? Nigel Smith, oh, yeah, he needed that kicking tee. That thing was beautiful.
What are we doing?
And it's good. We got more whistles and stoppages here before a snap even gets going. But, hey, nonetheless, let's straighten it all out. It's 7-0. Rains off to a quick start. Our Action Sports Jax Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back with more action from Rains High School here in the Graveyard.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker's Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker's Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome back to our Game of the Week. The Rains Vikings strike first. Less than 3 minutes into the game, they lead it 7-0 on a 65-yard touchdown run.
Put his knee
now
down.
The kick, and it's a line driver that's taken by the up back.
Nick
right
Boland.
about the 25-yard line, and when he caught it, his knee was on the ground. So
yeah, there's Nick Boland, the linebacker, in there in the up back. But, you got to keep your knee up, but he probably wouldn't expect it coming right at him right there.
Yeah, they'll take it right there, and that's where the Saints will begin possession number 2 of this football game. They got down to the 29-yard line of Rains and then turned it over on down. So here comes Jeff Sims playing in front of his future college coach, Willie Taggart, who is here at Rains High School tonight to watch this one. Florida State has a bye week this week. They'll play Clemson next week, so that will be a tough one and a big one for the Noles. But Jeff Sims just trying to get it done on the high school field tonight. Now is back in the backfield with him. Receivers split to either side. We got some early movement and a flag. And that gets Coach Kevin Sullivan up here in the booth even annoyed.
Yeah, it seems like we've thrown, like, stop the play, stop the play, stop the play. Now we get a guy jumping off. Let's get in there and get going, fellas.
Yeah,
get your head in the game,
A little choppy right now.
Yes.
That one on the Sandalwood Saints, so they'll back it up. Now inside the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Saints. Sims in the backfield in the shotgun with Jeremiah Huntley next to him. He hands it to Huntley. Huntley goes around the left side, gets a block for a few yards, maybe picks up 3 or 4, but not much doing as the Rains Vikings stop the run.
Yeah, it looked like 42 was in there on the play right there, making the tackle, getting through. Again, that's going to be tough sledding inside. That was a little counter play. Leaving that little guard fullback wrap in there, but those guys inside have played a bunch of football. They are returning. The couple D linemen have played a lot, so that they're going to have some tough sledding inside.
Thanks to Mr. Chubby's Wings for bringing us the pregame show here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. As we're more than halfway through the regular season now in Northeast Florida. Sims out of the shotgun, 2nd and 12. Looks to his right, has a receiver. That's Javante Kinsey. A flag comes down as he makes the catch on the near sideline and gets pushed out of bounds for a first down yardage, but we'll see where this one goes. It might be offensive pass interference on Kinsley.
Wow.
Now they're going to call it a false start instead. So that will back up the Saints and negate a very positive play from Sims to Kinsey.
Yeah, Kinsey's been, he's been pretty active. He's a big, good-looking kid. They use him at some tight end. They use him at some slot receiver, and they'll put him out there at the single, too. So he's a really big target, real good player. Number 15.
Oh, the ball will be set now back inside the 20-yard line. We'll call it 2nd and 16 for the Sandalwood Saints after the penalty. They've had 2 penalties on this drive already. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Sims gets the shotgun snap. It's a bit high, but he has it. Now over the middle to Kinsey. Short pass play, but it's a catch, and they'll pick up some yardage to make it a more manageable 3rd down. Kinsey's helmet actually comes off, but they blew that whistle dead.
Yeah, he's the leading receiver. He's averaging almost 20 yards a catch on the year, 4 touchdowns. He's averaged about 10 yards a catch on the year, but he's the most consistent. That's his 22nd catch on the season right there. So he's a favorite target to Sims, and he's a big target, so he probably finds the holes and sits down, and those guys have played together for a few years, so they got good chemistry with him.
It's going to be 3rd down and about 11 yards for Sandalwood. They'll have it around the 23-yard line. Have to get across the 35 for a first down, or right around that. Shotgun snap, swings it out to the left. A receiver has it, and it's caught. And it might be enough for a first down, Coach.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was Forrest that caught that, 19.
I think it was Forrest again.
Yep,
He's
Forrest
had 2 catches already in this game.
Again, they're doing a good job utilizing that 2 tight empty set with some 2 really good athletic tight ends in there that know how to run routes and get in space.
That seemed a little bit too easy on a 3rd and long, didn't it?
Yeah. So, again, they're rotating some guys in. The Brains, again, it's hot out still. The sun hadn't gone down.
7:04 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Rains in the lead. Sandalwood just got a first down, has the football, and they hand it off to Huntley. Huntley not getting much as Rains all over that play. Maybe a gain of 1.
Yeah, that looked like Goodwine down there, the nose guard, along with number 9, who's been real active. Reginald Harden. Senior defensive end, 6'4", big, long, rangy guy. Again, some of those inside guys have played a lot. We got a flag. We got a penalty.
Yeah, it's a face mask penalty, as you could probably hear the PA here. And I couldn't even find that laundry there down on the field, Coach. But that's a big helper for the Saints as they'll pick up a first down, add 15 more yards to that run. And they'll keep moving the ball toward midfield for Sandalwood. In fact, the ball will be placed now inside Rains territory on the 47-yard line.
Yeah, again, they've stayed on that sort of power set with them again. And they've had good success running it.
Bunch formation here now for Sims out of shotgun. Just going to run it, and he does. And he's down to the 45, out on the far side in front of his own sideline, down inside the 40 now. Might have picked up another first down. We'll see where they mark him out. I think he did. Maybe a gain of a dozen. Down to the 35-yard line of the Reigns Vikings.
Yeah, that's a little just quarterback power.
That was a straight run, and it picked up a big gain and a first down. And we're going to take a timeout. We have a water break here at Reigns High School. The Vikings lead it 7-0 early, but the Sandalwood Saints driving on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Eli Manning is one of the nicest dudes. Class personified. It's impossible to root against him. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not calling him some scrub. We're saying Father Time's caught up.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Halfway home in the first quarter of our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. The Reigns Vikings lead 7-0. Sandalwood on the move, though. Just picked up a first down, got it down to the 36-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Saints as we begin play here in the middle of the first quarter. Saints' second possession of the game, another equipment timeout for Reigns, it appears, as they come off the field and have to make a substitution. Once again, the same bunch formation. We just saw the power run by Sims. Let's see if we see it again. Sims in the shotgun. He will. Power run right up the middle, follows the center. Doesn't get much, though, as the Reigns Vikings close that gap quickly.
Yeah, they've got a little fullback. They're basically in a twin set with a tight end, little 12 personnel, and they've got a sniffer in there, and then they have the tailback as the other back, and then they wrap the guard. So that was more of like an ISO power on that ISO pull play right there, trying to get him inside to bounce at. The other one, they ran more off tackle.
Let's see if they stick with the same set, similar set. Sims in the shotgun once again. He's got two receivers to his left, and he fakes the run, passes down the middle of the field to Kinsey, and just overthrew him. Give some credit to Reigns now. They pressured him just enough to make Sims throw the football early, incomplete.
Yeah, so they've run that power play, and now he sort of takes his step, and then they release Kinsey right up the seam there. So the safeties, they're sort of getting in there. Corners are in there. Everybody's bunched in tight. And that was a big target. Sims wish he could have got that one just a little bit more time, about a half a second more, and he'd hit that. That would have been a big play.
Yeah, that was a perfect call right there. They had a touchdown right down the seam. Let's see what they do now. 3rd down, and let's call it 8 at the 35-yard line of Reigns. Sims out of the shotgun. Huntley next to him in the backfield. Takes the snap. Looking down the field. Has a receiver, and it's broken up by the Reigns Vikings down the field. It'll bring up 4th and down.
Yeah, he needed to put a little bit of air on that with that big target over there, get that ball up a little bit higher on that. It was a good throw, but if he puts that up higher, that DB can't undercut that throw and knock that ball down. I thought he missed that one, and that's what Coach Geis was talking about last year, is they've had 2 plays in a row where they should have had some big gains on. We're just not catching it, or we're not getting it to them in time.
Yeah, they're not cashing in on some of the plays that are there. Sims now, they're going to go for it on 4th and 8 from the 35-yard line of Reigns. Sims, shotgun, hits a snap. Has a little bit of time, throws down the field. Kinsey goes right off his hands. He might have been bumped on the way, no call, and it's a turnover on downs. Maybe a bit too much mustard on that throw from Sims.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It was a good ball. It put it right there. He's going to catch it, hit him right in the hands. But, again, he's looking into that sun, too. Again, we haven't taken in the fact that they're looking right dead into the sun where he's throwing that ball. So I'm sure that was probably a little bit different. I hadn't seen this before, but I think they just changed helmets on the sideline.
Missed opportunity for the Sandalwood Saints as they turn it over on downs for the second straight time after driving into Reigns territory. One stop at the 29, another stop now at the 35. So Reigns takes over. And an offsides by the Sandalwood Saints as they cross the neutral zone, and that's a free 5 yards for the Rains. Will bring up 1st and 5. 5:12 to go here in the first quarter. A little bit of a choppy first quarter. 7-0 though, and a 65-yard touchdown run for the Rains Vikings. They got the scoring going on their first possession. Second play of the game by Jalen Griffin.
Yeah, just jumped off sides. Got to pay attention. Really, like you said, really choppy. Like no flow at all.
Let's see if they can get it going a little bit. Adrian Williams out of the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to his left, a man in motion now. Williams looks to pass, and it bounces off the turf and into the hands of Deshaun Davis, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, a little bit low there, wide open on that route right there. They just a little crossing route and everything, so they just got to get that in. That's the first pass they've thrown today, so not quite ready. Again, they've been off, and they were off last week. They have played pretty good. But, again, we're not getting much flow here tonight.
The Rains Vikings 2-2, two-time defending state champs. Taking on the Sandalwood Saints, 5:07 to go in the first, 7-0 Rains. Now the handoff, and the Saints are right there to meet Nigel Smith. Nothing doing on that play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Akil Lampley's in there, number 7, and Bradley Jennings, 44, really highly 4-star linebacker, inside linebacker. Junior's brother playing down at Miami. Another really good player, another good genes from the Jennings family. His dad was a Florida State player for a bunch of years, and brothers are always in there going. They said there's another Jennings coming up that might be the best one.
Trips to the left on 3rd and 5, 2 receivers right, so it's an empty set for Williams, the quarterback, from his own 40-yard line. 4:24 to go in the first quarter. Takes a shotgun snap, looks to his right, has a receiver, and dropped. Would have been a first down, but it is dropped. Looks like Reginald Harden had it in his hands. Pretty good coverage on the play by Sandalwood.
Yeah, Chris
that
Ellis.
One could have been a completion.
Yeah, Chris Ellis, number 8 on the coverage, sophomore. So that's a pretty good job, giving away a little height. Pretty good ball. Put a little mustard on that thing, got it out pretty fast. So pretty good effort. Just got to come up with the ball there.
So Rains will be forced to punt for the first time. 4:18 to go in the first quarter. 7-0, they lead it. And Rains going right to left and looking right into that sun that is starting to set on a Friday night here in Northeast Florida. The snap is okay. The kick is up and okay. And it's a pretty good one. Be taken around the 20-yard line by Sandalwood. And that, once again, is Jalen Embry on the return game.
Jalen's been pretty active tonight.
Maybe gets about to the 26-yard line, but not much doing. Good return coverage by the Rains Vikings, and that's where the Saints will set up shop here for the third possession of the football game. Yet to score. They've driven the ball down the field, Coach. They just can't cash in at the other end.
Yeah, they seem to move it pretty good every time they've gotten it, and they get in on the Rain side of the field, and it sort of falls off and dies off on them. Not good execution right now.
Well, about the 27-yard line is where the Saints will set up shop. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and Sims again goes to work out of the shotgun empty set. Gets a snap, slings it out to his right, but it's overthrown as he tried to get it to Cornelius Forrest for the 3rd time this game, and he overshot his receiver.
Yeah, again, they're giving away the little inside out by the number 3 guy in trips, sort of man on the outside, and the outside backer can't get to the out. That's been pretty much open all day right there. We'll see him change up the coverage on that here. Rains will make a little bit of adjustment on that and take care of that.
So it's 2nd and 10 from their own 27. 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. Sims out of the empty backfield once again. Gets the shotgun snap. Has some time back there. Looks across the middle, almost picked off. It was deflected a couple of times by Saints receivers and had a chance to be picked, but it will fall incomplete around the 33.
Yeah, that's just a little crossing route, Brent. They're high-low in the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker, and if he chases it, he throw in behind it. If he bails, they throw up underneath it, and got to get a little bit of touch on that ball, Jeff. Got to get a little touch on that.
Yeah, that thing was a rifle.
Yeah, you can't.
Too hot to handle.
Yeah, you can't throw everything. Again, they're still looking into the sun too, so that I think that's playing a little bit of a factor.
Yeah, that sun's probably still about 20 minutes from dipping down far enough to not be a factor. 3rd and 10, shotgun snaps high. Sims has it, now rolls to his right. looks across the field, has a receiver. It's Embry now, and he's got it. First down yardage out to the 40, 45, and 46 now. Maybe the 45 is where they'll call him down, but a nice pickup on third down for Jalen Embry, as he's doing a lot of work here in the first quarter for Sandalwood.
Yeah, good job by Sims avoiding the rush and moving around in the pocket and throwing a really nice ball in there. They got a couple deep routes being thrown, and there's guys running around in the secondary. Again, young secondary back here for Raines.
Jaquez Robinson now to the near side. Sims gets a shotgun snap. He's flushed out of the pocket, flag down near holding, and he throws it into the dirt as he's almost tripped up. But this one will cost Sandalwood 10 yards as there was a hold on the play. Somebody had to stop Reginald Harden.
Yeah, Harden's been getting really good pressure coming off the edge. They do a couple good things with Harden. They bring him in, and now he'll play a little offense. And it looked like the right tackle may have reached out and tried to grab him.
3:32 to go in the first quarter, 7-0. Raines leads it. Sandalwood, third possession. They had a couple turnovers on downs deep into Raines territory, so nothing doing on the scoreboard for the Saints. And they've been jockeying back and forth with the field position because some penalties. They've been able to make plays when they need to on this side of the field. Not so much on the Raines side of the field once they get into their territory. 1st and 20 now. Sims gets a shotgun snap, looks left, and there he has Forrest again on the far side of the football field. It's a good chunk of yardage, good first down play to get him back into a manageable situation.
Yeah, that's a good job. That's just that number 3 on the out route right there. It's been open all night. So, again, Raines does a good job. You know, they run a bunch of guys inside, especially against throwing teams. They'll run a bunch of those down linemen in and out a little bit to get a good combination to keep them fresh. And Sandalwood pretty much staying in the gun. It has been predominantly throwing right now.
Ball's out about the 40-yard line now. Trips to the right of Sims. Second down. The receiver left, empty set once again. Shotgun snap. He looks to his right, and he has Forrest again. Forrest has all sorts of room across midfield, down to the 45-40, and knocked out of bounds on the Raines side of the field. But a big play, first down, wide open. They can't stop Reginald Forrest right now. He's finding a lot of open room.
Yeah, it looks like, again, they're just running number 3 up on the out route, and they're running the out two outside wideouts on the takeoff, and the safety's not running down the hill and covering the out route.
That's one of those plays. You call it until they stop it, right?
Without a doubt.
Forrest having himself a nice first quarter. 2 receivers left, one to the right on first down. Sims looks left. This time he has Kinsey right at the line of scrimmage, trying to break the tackle or two, but it'll be a host of Raines tacklers, and there's another flag on the play to boot.
That's in the holding spot right there. It looked like I'm not sure if it was the center or the right guard, but I don't think he held him. I think the guy just ran him over and he fell down on top of him from my point of view.
Insult to injury a little bit there.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. So I didn't quite think he did that. The official's telling him he dumped him, but I don't know. When you dump him, I don't know about that.
Well, it's going to be holding, and it'll bring up first down and 20. Really, it'll bring up first and 22.
Yeah, it was a couple yards back behind the line, so it's where the spot was. It's a spot foul when they back it up. So, again, I'd look for them to throw the out route here. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah, it's been working. They're back in their own territory now at their own 48. First down, 22, and we got another flag before we get the snap off.
Defense.
This time it looks like it's encroachment, so 5 yards are back, and now we get first and 17 for Sandalwood. 2:22 to go in the first quarter, 7-0. Vikings, the Raines Vikings, 2-time defending state champs, jumped out to an early lead on a 65-yard touchdown run to get the scoring going by Jalen Griffin. Sandalwood trying to answer, but they've turned it over on downs a couple of different times. Here is possession number 3. They go back and forth with penalties and then big play and then penalties. So here we are, first and 17 at the 47-yard line of the Vikings. Empty set again. Sims being rushed, now finds time in the pocket, puts a little move on a defender, across the line of scrimmage down to the 45. So he picks up a couple of yards, avoids the sack, and it'll set up a second down to about 15.
Yeah, they covered the out route that time. He was going to throw it again, too. Yeah, he was ready to throw it, and they changed the coverage and dropped the guy down on it. I was waiting for him to sort of stick that out and then get vertical as the safety's running there. I wonder if they'll do that on this side, because this is where they've had most of the success.
Huntley will split out to the left now. 3 receivers to the right, including Forrest, who's had a nice day so far. Sims gets the snap, finds a receiver in the middle of the field. That's Kinsey again. He's been a big target in the middle of the field.
Yep.
That's good for about an 8-yard pickup or so, and it sets up a 3rd and manageable situation.
Yeah, Kinsley and Forrest, both 6'4", both sort of tight end guys that they're doing. They got all the scatty guys, the faster guys, the smaller guys out on the edge. But those 2 inside guys have done a pretty good job.
3rd and 6 now from the Reigns 36-yard line. Shotgun snap for Sims. Fakes the throw, and now will be sacked. The host of Reigns Vikings, and that includes Reginald Harden. He's been all over the place on the defensive side of things. He got to Sims.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go for this one on that. Again, did a good job. Trayvon Hobbs, we haven't called his name tonight. He's sort of the lead general out there. Returning 3-year starter for them. He's at safety, and he sort of jumped that out route, and they did a good job on that. And he'll go back and catch this 4th down punt.
So Sandalwood will punt it away. Inside a minute to go in the first quarter now. Our Action Sports Jax Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. Kind of a slow and choppy first quarter here at the Graveyard, but the Reigns Vikings lead at 7-0. They'll take that. They just forced Sandalwood to punt again. Sandalwood in punt formation.
Looks like Emery, number 12, punting.
He does the returning and the punting, and he kicks it away. And a fumble by Hobbs. He picks it up anyway, though, around the 20-yard line. And on the far side of the football field will be tackled around the 22. Avoided disaster by getting his own fumble, so Reigns will keep the football, and they'll start on their own 22-yard line with 18 seconds to go in the quarter.
Yeah, I got to believe that sun is playing havoc as it's setting right back over the back of the school. Right on there, they're sort of looking dead into it like we are. But we've seen a couple balls bounce off some guys, and then Trayvon, who's really sure-handed, muffin that, but he was fortunate to pick it up. So we'll see what Reigns does here.
It's a good call by you, too. A lot of the drops from the receivers and that play by Hobbs have all come looking right into that sun.
So Sandalwood will be excited if we get this 18 seconds and flip the field.
Yeah, so much for home field advantage for the Vikings there. Or maybe it was home field advantage, actually, at the end of the day. 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. Williams hands off to the back. That's Nigel Smith, and not much doing as Sandalwood's defense all over that.
Yep.
Number
Jennings.
44, Brandon Jennings. Remember number 44 used to play for Sandalwood?
Yep.
Playing the NFL now. Had himself a nice game against the Jags last week, DeMarcus Walker.
Yes. Yeah, that's a valid number, but Jennings, you can sort of tell when he hits, Brent, because when it does, it always that head of that running back sort of snaps back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's Jennings. I can tell. I didn't even have to look at the sheet to see who it was.
He's a big hitter, and the Reigns Vikings got a big hitter out of the gate. Second play of the game, Jalen Griffin was able to go 65 yards. That's all the scoring in the first quarter. Reigns leads at 7-0. Second quarter action coming up on our Action Sports Jax Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
I think Carson Wentz is going to come back and have a resurgent year.
Are you not concerned at all with the lack of depth at quarterback position? They had to rely a lot on Nick Foles. Carson Wentz gets hurt every year.
Not every year.
Go Lick and Wingo, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 690.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Back to live action on 2nd and 9 for the Reigns Vikings. Pass broken up. Intended for Jalen Griffin. Broken up by Sandalwood, Romello Sutton in the defensive secondary. So a nice play. Bring up 3rd and 9 from their own 23. First play of the second quarter. 7-0. The Reigns Vikings lead the Sandalwood Saints. Our Action Sports Jax Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan here at the Graveyard on a beautiful Friday night as the sun sets here in Northeast Florida. And we flip the calendar to October. Football games get more and more important as the season goes along. 3rd and 9, bunch formation for the Reigns Vikings. They might have got a Sandalwood Saint to jump, and yes, they did. That'll give them 5. It'll still bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that coach guy said he don't like that, but he's yanking that guy out of the game. That's a free 5 yards on that, so we got to be able to play a little bit better discipline on 3rd and 9.
Never been a big fan of that rule, Coach.
No, in high school, being
Just
able to
the
get
jump.
back.
If you don't make contact, why can't you get back?
Well, if you jump and they move, it's the same
Well, that's
thing.
different. Yeah. So here we go, 3rd and 4. The toss behind Williams, and on the near sideline, close to a first down. We'll see where they spot that as Makai McGee had the ball. And let's see where the dust settles on the near sideline. And they're going to call it short, so it's going to be 4th and 1. Let's see what Duran Wiley does now. That was right in front of Wiley. I don't think he loved the spot.
No, he didn't. They never do. He's going to bring the chains over here. So I tell you what, they've got it's an interesting Sandalwood secondary, Brent, because you've got Bermudez, who's a senior, and of course Jaquez, number 9, who's committed. Jaquez Robinson, who's committed to Alabama, and then you have 2 young guys on the other side, and both those young guys know they're going to get tested because they're not going to throw over here on Jaquez's side. And so it's been an interesting turn of events to sort of watch the dynamic of that play. And again, Sandalwood is young on defense. I mean, they have the 2 seniors in the back, and they have 2 senior D linemen, but everybody else is not.
They got a lot of talent in the secondary, but you still have to be able to get it done in the trenches,
Yeah, without a doubt. Coach, I told you Coach Wiley had that call first down.
I guess so. I mean, that was they brought the chains all the way across the field. They turned it from a 4th down and short to a 1st down. So good call by Wiley, and it'll be a new set of downs for the Reigns Vikings. Just enough yards for McGee there on the 3rd and 4. That was a big penalty that helped him out, too, on the offsides.
Yes, without a doubt. Got to give some love to the big offensive lineman there. Marquel Holbert, 6'4", 330 for Reigns, a left tackle. Senior up on the front. That's a big old body right there, Brent.
31-yard line of Reigns. 1st down and 10. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Williams in the backfield in the shotgun. And he will hand it off, and, well, he almost handed it to the Saints because Jennings, again, is all over that play, and he wasn't the only one that time. Anthony Haney was right there, too.
Yeah, Haney was in there downhill, getting in there first, and then Jennings cleaned it up. We got to get a little bit more active with those guys, the down end right there. Haney played really well on that play, getting inside, beat the block inside. Good effort.
So 2nd and 11, we'll call it a loss of 1 on the play. Back to the 30-yard line of Reigns. 11-11 to go in the second quarter, first half. 7-0, Reigns in the lead. They've got the football, driving left to right. Williams shouting signals and instructions to his folks on the left and receivers on the right. 4 wide receivers. And now after all that, a whistle. And it might be a delay of game, and it is.
So if you notice the back judge, when he puts his arm up in the air, that means there's 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So when he puts his arm up, they've got to go. Since we don't have play clocks on the field, so they've got to raise their arm. The quarterback's got to see it, and he's got to know in his mind he's got 10 seconds to go.
Oh, looks like the chopper's coming back for Willie Taggart here at Reigns High School, so maybe he has to jump around and go to another place. We'll see. 4 wide receiver set. Williams in the shotgun, looking deep down the left side of the field. McGee has it and then drops it right at midfield. Trying to keep his feet in. The ball pops loose, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, that was a really good throw right there by the quarterback. Put it in a really nice spot. Williams threw a real good ball, nice height on it, dropped it right in there, and he didn't come up and make the catch. That's the one you sort of don't like your guy. They're going to drop him and everything. Again, Brent, that sun he might have been looking right at that sun. Again, they flip sides.
Tell you what, should have wore shades to the game if you were a player today. Little eye black, maybe. So here we go on 3rd down and long. 3rd and 16 from their own 25-yard line. Reigns trips to the left, and now a receiver in motion. Williams in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff. Looks down the field, has a little time. Now throws it to his right. It might be picked off. Almost picked off that time by the Sandalwood Saints. That ball was thrown up for grabs.
That's Akil Lampley right there in the throw lane. If he didn't throw that ball that high, that might have been a pick 6 right there. So, again, they got a little bit going. Reigns, Sandalwood tighten up a little bit on defense. And Rain's doing a good job of mixing a little run and a little pass in there, but they've got to be able to accomplish and catch the football.
Well, and some of the penalties, too. Both of these teams have to keep an eye on the penalties, getting behind the sticks. Derek Neely will do the punting duties. He's back at his own 10-yard line.
Looks like Embry's
Snap
deep.
and a kick away, and end over end across his midfield down to the 45-40. Still bouncing, and a Rains bounce far side of the football field. This one will get inside the 35. That's a really nice kick by Neely.
Yeah,
and that's where Sandalwood would set up.
Yeah, look at about 42 yards. Good hit and got a good run on it. Got movement down there. And will be interesting to see now if they're going to stay on it. What's their adjustment? So Rains makes the adjustment on covering the out on the number 3 wide out in trips. I want to see what Sandalwood's adjustment now that they've seen the way they're sort of playing it now. Are they gonna fake the out and then get vertical back up through the seam? So it'll be an interesting. That's sort of the game in the game that goes on, with the coaches.
Adam Guy said a couple weeks ago against Ribault, they had 14 big play opportunities. You're not going to hit all of them.
Right.
But 14 of them, they only had 2. They
Right.
ended up having 5 turnovers in that game. Against Oakleaf last week, 5 big play opportunities. They made 2 of them. But if you can just cash in on 1 more of those or 2 more of those,
Right.
you maybe win some football games, and they've lost the last couple of weeks. So Sims will start in the shotgun, 1st and 10. The handoff to Huntley. Huntley rolls left now and crosses the 35 out to the 37, 38-yard line before he's brought down on the near side of the football field. Picks up a few yards on 1st down.
Yeah, Derek Neely run the alley on that, made the tackle. Really good bounce by Huntley. He's got it out, and once he gets on the corner, he's got to get north and south. You're not going to be able to run sideline to sideline. The range kids are going to run that down. So once he gets off the bend, did a nice job riding the wave off the pullers and bouncing. He's got to get going north and south.
Huntley's been battling some injuries. He's good looking back though, 6 foot, 190 pounds, just a sophomore. Coach. Sims out of the shotgun now, again, kind of the pistol. 2 receivers right, has plenty of time, looks down the field and overthrows Embry, or that would have been a big one. Could have been 6. Jalen Embry was streaking down the seam on the right hash, and Sims just couldn't hit him.
Yeah, that was a good route. They came off that little play fake again, and they had the 2 receivers out top. The inside guy ran a little sit-down drag, and then they post over the top, and they had the post. And, again, he was just a little bit high with the throw. Can't blame the sun on that one, Brett.
No, you can't. 3rd down now and 7 yards to go for Sandalwood as they are missing on some plays. They're there. They're just missing on them in critical spots, just like Coach Geis was talking about. From the 38-yard line, Sims snaps his hand. Shotgun snap, assesses the field. Now has Kinsey, misses a tackle, breaks a tackle, and now across midfield and down to the 40-yard line. So a nice pickup on a risky play, risky throw, but it worked because Kinsey picks up a bundle and a 1st down.
Yeah, Kinsey did a good job getting his body, getting his hands on the ball. Remember, that's a big, long target, so he threw that ball a little bit out, and he reached out, grabbed it. The DB went and swatted at it, missed. He got it, got the 1st down. Good play right there.
He's got some length to him, no doubt about it. So trips to the right, 1 receiver to left at the 41. Sims, 1st and 10, down the field, and miscommunication because Embry started going that way and then stopped. Incomplete.
Yeah, Emery was sitting in the hole. He was sort of running like a little post in there, and then the safety stayed deep, and he just sat it down, and Sims just threw it up over the top. Again, a little breaking off some routes. They've changed again now how they're playing the out on the 3rd guy on the out again, and I think they would have had a nice play if he just sat down to be able to get the ball to him.
The ball spotted around the 42 of Rains. 2nd and 10. 9:24 to go in the 1st half. 7-0 Vikings in the lead. Boy, it feels like Sandalwood's just an inch or 2 away from making a big play. Shotgun snap to Sims. He looks, has plenty of time, throws down the field, has Embry caught. Now to the 10, 15, and fumble the football, and Rains will pounce on it and recover. Embry had himself a touchdown. He had got by everybody, but then he just dropped the football. Rains recovers.
Yeah,
and they will take over. There it is. Christian McNear falls on it, and he gets the fumble recovery.
Yeah, that was a really good ball by Sims. Boy, he put it on the rope, on the line, put it right in his hand. Emery made the catch. The 2 guys came through. He sort of split him. As he cleared him, he just dropped the ball on the ground. And I know that's killing them guys over there because, again, you said they're so close from breaking out on this thing, and there's another play. That would be a miss for Coach Geis.
Yeah, unless a hand got in there. We'll have to check it later on the replay, but I'm not even sure there was contact.
It almost
just dropped it.
Yeah, it almost looked like they sort of whiffed going through there.
So Rains will take over inside their own 20, 1st and 10. And the new quarterback now. We told you there'll be some changes. Carlton Butler is in there for the first time in this football game. Kept it to his left. Maybe got a yard. But Butler is the sophomore QB. Adrian Williams, the senior QB. And they'll both take some reps in this football game. We're seeing Butler for the first time.
Yeah, Butler's more, I think he throws a good ball, but he's more, they can do a little bit more with the run game with him. Gives you another running back in the backfield, but I want to see him put the ball up in the air and throw. This is the first time I've seen him play. A little bit taller, too, than Williams.
Yeah, Butler's 6 feet tall. Williams 5'9". Butler stays in there. Man in motion now for Raines. Shotgun snap to Butler. Has some time, flushed out of the pocket, fakes a throw, now runs to the left side, and he's hit pretty hard. And guess who again? Jennings is all over the place, isn't he?
You'll start noticing that. That's what I was telling you. You can tell when Jennings hit.
I like that because I don't have to look at the number anymore, Coach. I just see the reaction, and I know it's Jennings.
Yes, without a doubt. And his brother was the same way. The one down at University of Miami was the same way. When you see him, when you watch film as the coach, you're like, who the heck is that guy laying the wood? And so again, good, strong linebacker tradition in that family.
Yeah, Brendan Jennings is a good-looking athlete, man. 6'3", 225 pounds. Looks the part, and he's playing the part here tonight in the Graveyard. 7-0, Raines Vikings lead at 7:50 to go and counting in the first half. Third down, let's call it about 7 for the Vikings going left to right.
Yeah,
Butler still in at quarterback.
Down.
Nice snag of the bad snap with one hand. He's looking down the field. He has a receiver down the field, and it's incomplete as he threw to a couple of guys in the area, but also in that area. Look out for Jacquez Robinson. He wanted to get his hands on one.
Jacquez going to go down there and talk to him a little bit. Tell him, don't be throwing that thing over here, Coachy.
Yeah, I think he is talking to the sideline right now, isn't he? Like, are you crazy? I'm going to Alabama, man. Don't test me.
But all those guys, again, all these kids play in the 7-on-7 leagues and everything, and especially with social media, they can follow each other. And, everybody roots, everybody playing hard, but they all root for the 904 guys when our guys all go off to school. So, but again, really good job. I thought he held that ball. He should have thrown it a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Not a bad throw, but he should have thrown it just a little bit sooner.
Well, if you're going to throw it down that way, incomplete, probably not a bad idea either if it wasn't going to be caught. So now a punt. And Neely comes on to do the punting duties. Nice one last time around, 42 yards. Gets the snap. No pressure, really, end over end. It will bounce around the 45-yard line. Another good roll across midfield and down to the 46 of Sandalwood. But really good field position to start this drive as the Saints have come oh so close to scoring. Just haven't been able to do it yet. They're a whisker away from a big play, it feels like, here at Raines High School. The Vikings lead at 7-0 over Sandalwood, and I guess you have to applaud the defense of the Vikings shutting out Sandalwood so far because the Saints can be a quick strike.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, they're playing a lot of guys. Most of their experiences up front, with the exception of Trayvon Hobbs. You've got some new secondary guys, some new linebackers. They've had a really good defense for the last couple of years, guys that have been in the program that have played. These guys have played a lot. They're just starting to gel. It's different playing in mop-up roles than it is playing big-time football.
So Sandalwood takes over, another possession on their own 46-yard line. Sims goes to work, 7:22 to go in the half, down 7-0. Huntley now split out to the left as a wide receiver. Empty backfield. Shotgun snap. He's looking left. Sims now flush to his right. Launches downfield and bounces into the turf as he had nothing doing.
Yeah, I think he just sort of, more than anything, threw that one away. Again, they've done a good job. That was the number 3 on the out. They've got to take number 2 and take him on that little dig over the top of that out route, and that thing will be wide open. But again, they've done a good job of adjusting their route tree on that play, which has been very successful.
The go-to guys on offense to this point have been Cornelius Forrest and also Javante Kinsey for Sandalwood. Now the ball moves back to the 45-yard line. Ball's bouncing all around, isn't it? 2nd and 10. Sims empty set again. Gets the snap. Has time and rifles one, but it's picked off right into the hands of Raines. And there's another turnover. And is it McNair again? I think it is. Nah, maybe not. That's number 25, Kyrie Hammond. Instead, he gets the turnover, and Raines is set up in good shape after Hammond picks off Sims.
Yeah, Sims threw a good ball, and I don't think the wideout was ready and didn't make any kind of effort for the ball, and it went right to the DB, Hammond, who was made to play. Got the ball turned over, and we'll see what we got on the next movement here.
We've talked about this already. You said something interesting. I mean, Sims has a rifle arm.
Right.
You know, that ball pops out of his hand really good. But he's got to throw a changeup sometimes, too.
Yes. And I think they just and the receiver didn't do a very good job. I didn't think of making any effort for the ball.
All right, so Rains takes over now on the 41-yard line of Sandalwood. A big opportunity here with 7:08 to go in the first half, already leading 7-0. Butler fakes the handoff, looks left, down the sideline, throws it up for grabs, and it's caught on the far sideline inside the 10-yard line. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. They call it out of bounds. In coverage, Romello Sutton may have wedged him right out of bounds there. Incomplete. Got all excited for nothing, Coach.
Yeah, good ball. Got it up high. Let him go get it again. Yeah, Sutton, remember, he's a younger guy, so they're going after him a little bit right there. The guys on this side have done a good job, and Sutton's done a good job, too. He's in great coverage right in the hip, flipped his hip as run, and threw the ball out of bounds.
Markel Gander now out to the left side. 4 wide receivers set for Rains. Jalen Griffin already has scored on a run play. He's on the trips right. So 5 wide receivers now for Rains. 2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line, and we have some movement on the offensive front. And there's a penalty. They're going to go back to the 46.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that was that's a right tackle. Just moved a little bit, and, it's sort of funny when you watch those linemen, then they move, and then they try to get back in their stance like nobody saw me, did they? And everybody sees the big guys up front move.
Well, a couple of highlights in this one. Add another highlight to it. The sun is going down here at Rains High School, and it's turning into a beautifully comfortable night here at the Graveyard. Rains lead at 7-0, 6:59 to go in the first half. 5 wide receiver set once again. Butler, sophomore quarterback, being pressured, and he's going down. There's another flag on the play, but that's a sack by Sandalwood. And do I have to tell you who it is?
No, sir.
Number 44, Jennings, all over the place.
And they got a holding penalty on top of that, so they'll probably decline that one. It's the other way, ref.
Jennings is dominating this football game at the moment.
What? The ref?
Yeah, I think they're asking Rains instead of if they want to decline.
I think, they'll take that
That's
sack.
okay. Jennings is all sorts of fired up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dancing around the 40-yard line. He's having himself one heck of a game. Maybe the most dominating game we've seen yet by an individual player.
Yes,
it's happening right here with Brandon Jennings, the Sandalwood linebacker.
He's probably got 6-7 tackles and a sack already in this game,
and a couple of tackles for loss.
Yeah, he's sort of the inspirational guy on there.
Yeah, you can tell
a little bit.
He's inspiring me. 6:25 to go in the first half, 7-0. Rains leads it, but this possession started on the 41. Now they're all the way back to their own 45. I can't do math quick enough to know how long they have to get a first down.
Probably,
3rd down.
Probably my pitching wedge.
3rd down and 24, we'll call it. Butler out of the shotgun. They set up a screen play. They have the screen set up. Jarius Stewart him across midfield, or right at midfield, is being tackled. Was it 4?
44.
Jennings.
This time he didn't knock him down. He grabbed him by the jersey and pulled him down that time. It would be a little nice to the young kid.
What are we doing? We unofficially saying 42 tackles so far for Brandon Jennings?
Did a good job. That was a really good play, too, but Jennings just made the lineman miss, which is sort of a good job by him, and they just reached out, grabbed the little slot receiver and pulled him down.
And Brandon Jennings has some swag going right now around the 40-yard line, and he should, because he was a game wrecker on that drive. After the turnover, what a stop by Sandalwood. They force a punt now. Rains had it, already up a touchdown, has a chance on a short field. Instead, they go the other way, thanks in part to Brandon Jennings. So now Sandalwood will get it back. 5:15 and counting to go in the first half. The punt is up by Neely.
That's a good punt.
Really good kick. Down to about the 12, 13-yard line. Embry has it now up to the 30, 35-yard line, near sideline, and he gets close to the 40. And Embry's been all over the place, kicking, punt returning, receiving, and that was a pretty nice return of 30-plus yards. That will get Sandalwood set up in pretty decent shape. In fact, just about the spot where they turned the football over.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And again, a really good job blocking on this, too, on that return. He did a nice job.
I think we have a hydration timeout, so we'll send it to break here on the Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. 5:04 to go in the first half. Rains leads it 7-0 over the Sandalwood Saints.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
And this guy writes in, where was all this Masvidal love before his recent success? Real fans have had his back for a long time.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome back to our Game of the Week inside 5 minutes of play. First half, 7-0. The Reigns Vikings, 2-time defending state champs, lead the Sandalwood Saints 7-0, playing out of District 8A. Brent Martin along with Kevin Sullivan. Beautiful night. Now the sun has gone down. Nice sunset. Hashtag Battle of the Sunsets. And Willie Taggart stopped by today on his chopper, flew in right onto the practice field. Check out Sims and probably some other players.
Yep.
Florida State commit. And I think he might already be up and away. I saw that chopper come back. He might be on to another visit by now. But the Florida State head coach stopping by with the Noles having a bye week. Meanwhile, the Saints trail by 7. Just a one-score game. They have it at the 45, 1st and 5. Sims keeps it. The Florida State commit. He'll be tackled from behind after a gain of 4 yards, as we've seen that play several times now, as they just follow the lead block with the quarterback.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a little ISO play. They got the fullback sniffer up in there, and then the tailback right behind him, and they're tapping the lineman to tell them which way they're going to bring it at. And again, picking up some good yardage on it, not being in any hurry, taking their time. They'll come off play action like they have off that play.
So we'll bring up a 2nd and let's call it 2 from the 48-yard line, and we might see a similar play because it's been effective. 2 wide receivers right. Sims slaps his hand, now fakes the run, looks to pass, goes down the field to Kinsey, and boy, it looked like Kinsey was being held, and the officials had their back turned. I don't think they saw it as they were jogging down the field, but Kinsey couldn't escape the defense, couldn't set free.
No, I thought he was getting reached out, getting held too. Hobbs is trying to get these guys directed, everybody up where how they're playing that, and Kinsey got up in there and go. So pretty good effort right there. But Brent, I'm going to tell you, I think that's an illegal formation. I hate to tell you that.
They didn't catch it.
Well,
so it wasn't illegal.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 5 guys. You ain't got enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Well, 3rd and 2. They cross midfield with Sims on that same power play, and they'll pick up the first down. No flags on the field with that formation. So down to the 47-yard line is Sims, and they pick up the first down, keep this drive going.
Yeah, they're getting 4 or 5 a pop on that little run game in there. 4 or 5 a pop.
Homecoming night being celebrated with the Reigns Vikings having an off week last week, so the courts will be announced at halftime, and we're about 3.5 minutes or so away from halftime here at the Graveyard. 7-0, Reigns leads, but Sandalwood has the football on the Reigns side of the field. 1st and 10 from the 47. Sims gets the shotgun snap, has time and throws it. It looks like it's Embry over there, and slides down and makes the catch. First down, about a pickup of 12 yards, and has it at the 36. So it's really been the Sims, Embry, Kinsey, maybe a little bit of Forrest show for Sandalwood on offense.
Yeah, and another thing about that's good is they've been able to move the ball from the 30 to the 30, but they haven't been able to do much with it from there. So hopefully they'll get that changed around on this drive.
Well, Embry was going in for 6 the last time they had the football, or 2 times ago now, and he fumbled it down near the goal line. Sims claps his hand, hands off to Huntley. Huntley has it, and now will be tackled after a short gain by a host of Reigns Vikings. The Vikings sniffed that out.
Yeah, I think that was Nicholas Parker in their 45 getting in there. Again, they do a good job of rotating their guys. You get 3 in, 3 out about every 3 plays, keeping their guys fresh because they know they're throwing it, that pass rush. They got to keep that pass rush getting after it each time.
We got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. 2nd and 10. Got a whistle on the field. Try to straighten this out. Might be another equipment issue. .225 to go and counting here in the first half. 7-0 Reigns. Sims out of the shotgun again. 2nd and 10 from the 36 of Reigns. Sims now avoids a sack. Now rolls right and will be sacked as Reigns never gave up on the play. Is that Harden again?
Yeah,
I think it is.
I'm not quite sure. I think that was 5. I think that was Neely.
Is it Neely? Yeah, it is. It is not
That was
9.
Neely.
It's 5 instead, and Neely is able to chase him down. Never gave up on that play.
Right. No, he did. They did a good job. They had a good passer. They had the tight end. As soon as he got it, took his drop, but he was getting pressure off his left side, so he rolled. And I think he should have took off and run on that. It's easier for me to say that up here than him trying to make a play down there.
Yeah, I thought he might too. He had some space on that side and then got sacked for a few-yard loss. So it's 3rd down and 13 from the 39. Sims drops back, now under pressure, escapes the rush, and now he will be brought down as there was too much of a rush by Reigns. And that time they were able to bring him down for good and force 4th down as it's Marquise Newman, big 6'2", 220-pounder, in on the sack.
Yeah, again, they get good pressure on him, and he's trying to get the ball out sort of fast, but they were pretty much off. They brought a bunch on that one. With them releasing the both tight ends on that and putting the back on that side, they're bringing the extra pressure on the side the back's going to. They're going for it.
Yeah, forget about punting. Now inside a minute to go. We just flipped to inside a minute to play in the first half. And at the 42-yard line, it's going to be 4th and, well, a bundle.
Blitz again.
Sims under pressure, might be sacked, and he will be sacked. It'll be a turnover on downs, and there's Reginald Harden.
Yes.
We've seen him a bunch of times in the first half. He kind of made that play happen.
Yeah, Harden was in there. That was a really good play by him. They've had a hard time when they bring the pressure. Tyron Smith, the other outside linebacker, came on that right there. That was a really good job right there.
Well, we'll see how risky of a play that was for Adam Geis and Sandalwood as they turn the football over right around midfield with 42.7 to go in the first half. Reigns leads at 7-0. They get the football back and now try to add to that lead. What's been a defensive struggle for the most part in this first half, although we've seen some offensive plays. I think what's stopped most of the drives are penalties.
Yep.
Or just some big defensive plays in the right spots.
Yeah, we haven't had like a bunch of turnovers. You know, we had one, I want to
two.
believe. 2, that's right.
2 by Sandalwood now.
Yep.
Fumble and a pick. So at their own 48-yard line, Reigns takes over. And a fumble snap there. Butler picks it back up, and he'll cross midfield down to the 45 and 43. So a nice athletic play by the sophomore quarterback, as that could have been a disaster. Instead, he picks up 8 yards, 9 yards, maybe even a first down.
Yeah, I think they were trying to set up some screens on that, and he just dropped the ball. Athletic enough to pick it up and take off. Again,
Minshew-esque.
Except he didn't bounce around and everything on that. Didn't bounce around on that thing. But, yeah, that was a good play by him. Again, I think Santa was a little confused in the secondary. They were moving guys around there late. You got 30 seconds left before the half. You know, Reigns doesn't have a great kicking game. So you know they got to get the ball down to even get close to even attempt a field goal. So you've got to be able to give up the short stuff on that. So not quite sure what they were doing with the secondary back there, but they were moving guys right before the snap.
First few series, Adrian Williams was the quarterback. Now the last couple of series, it's been Carlton Butler, the sophomore. No surprise. Once again, Duran Wiley told me that that's what they do. They'll shuffle it up a little bit. And Butler's in on the final series of the first half. For Reigns, 37 seconds to go. Get 9 yards on the pickup. Not bad after the fumbled snap. So from the 43-yard line of Sandalwood, it'll be 2nd and 1. And now we have another stoppage in play. But, of course, 7-0 Vikings in the lead, trying to add to it right before the break. Trips to the right for Butler. Nigel Smith in the backfield with him. Shotgun snap, he has it. Now he's being pressured, could be brought down, and it's Forrest, who's had a nice day on offense, at a sack to his total on defense.
Yeah, Forrest got off the ball real well, got across the nose of the left guard, and really did a nice job of knifing in and making the play right there.
Now, remember when I said you don't need those timeouts in the first half? I was lying. They could use one right now. The clock is rolling. Ball's back at midfield. They're trying to get lined up. 10 seconds to go. There's a bunch of confusion. Maybe the last play of the first half. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Here's the snap at midfield. and that ball falls out of the hand of Butler. It might have been hit from behind with Kinsey.
Kinsey,
but either way, it falls incomplete. They call it, and that's the end of the first half. Somewhat sluggish at times first half, choppy first half, and at the end of the day, it's 7-0. Raines leads it at home, trying to pick up win number 3 of the season. Sandalwood trying to avoid 500 and 3 straight losses. Find out what happens in the second half. Plus our halftime show, scores from around the area. We'll also take a look at our Baker Sports Coach of the Week. All on the way on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Hey, Maurice Jones-Drew, how many times did you ask for a trade while you were a player?
I asked one time. I think it was when I was holding out. Kind of was like, hey, if this is the way you feel about me, maybe we can work something where I can go somewhere else.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904. Powered by Cox Media Group.
What's up, North Florida poker fans? This is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms in Jacksonville and Orange Park. The World Poker Tour returns to Jacksonville September 27th, and there's no better time to lock up your seat in the main event than right now. You will find satellites into the $5,000 buy-in main event for as little as $120. Satellites are going on now. Get ready to take your shot at $1 million prize pool in the WPT main event. For more detailed information, visit them on the web at bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, where anybody can win.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker Sports.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Now, the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week halftime show. Here's Brent Martineau.
7-0, our halftime score here at the Graveyard Rains High School, hosting Sandalwood on ESPN 690. Once again, you can watch the video on all our social media platforms, on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. And right now, you can see the Rains Vikings band performing at halftime. Always a good show here at the Graveyard. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. Oh, we said it when we were going to break. It's been kind of a sluggish, somewhat sloppy at times, choppy at times first half. But end of the day, defense is making some plays. Rains comes up with 2 turnovers. And I think both front fours came up with some big sacks toward the end of that first half. And it looks like defense is starting to win the day.
Yeah, defensively, both teams are good defensively. I mean, again, on both sides, you've got the big hitters on the Sandalwood guy with the big D1 secondary, and behind him, they bring some of their long, lanky guys in to rush the passer. And then on the other side, Raines is always going to be good on defense. Ever since Coach Wiley's been here, that's his baby. That's what he loves to do. And it seems like they've sort of got stagnant. But I think Raines' game plan on what they're trying to do is they want Sandalwood to have to drive the field and not give them the big play. and right now they're winning that battle because Sandalwood's done a decent job between, say, the 30s, but they haven't done anything since that part. So I think they need to come back, keep the controlled passing game. I want to see them running a little bit more. And then Raines, I think, is just sort of figuring themselves out what their identity is going to be on offense because they've done some really nice things, and then they get a penalty, and then they get backed up, and then they're forced to throw it. So, again, they're replacing a bunch of starters on offense also, so they've got a lot of work to do. But, again, defensively, both teams have really stepped it up.
Trying to take a look at some scores around the area. One of the few I can find right now is Ponte Vedra jumped out to a 7-0 lead against Bartram Trail. That's really the game of the week down in St. Johns County, 2 5-0 teams. Bartram has responded with a score. So we got that going on. Rebault last night.
Big game, yeah.
Beat Lee 34-30.
Yeah,
Tell you what, Lynn
to
Shell
watch
was our
that.
coach of the week.
Yep.
You were there for a little bit of that one. We had
Yep.
our cameras there at that one. Got to be impressed with what Rebault's doing. They beat Sandalwood a couple of weeks ago. Now they come in and beat Lee. Not bad, right?
No, not bad at all, and they're really good on defense. I think they had 3. I know they had 2 pick sixes, but I think they had a scoop and score, too. Recovered one in the end zone. So defensively scored 21 points of the 34. They're sort of finding their way offensively a little bit, and but that was a big win for Rebault, big win for those coaches over there, and they're trying to get their kids back in because, the big one's coming next Saturday.
Absolutely right.
It's at Rebault.
At Rebault. Yep. Raines and Rebault will play next Saturday in a week. Right now, we're going to go to the lines, and at that Rebault League game last night was Stuart Weber, but he checks in from a different game tonight. The game we were at last week, Mandarin, who they put a thumping on Nice 42-3. Got a different opponent in town tonight, the defending state champs do. What's up, Stuart? What's going on there?
Yeah, different opponent and a different look on the scoreboard too. I'll give Mandarin this. They are trying, man. They are trying to hang with these guys, but it is tough. St. Thomas Aquinas is a college team, for Pete's sake. They got 24 guys going D1. I mean, so at last check, I'm actually pulling into Nice High School right now. At last check, it was 28-10 in favor of St. Thomas Aquinas, and that only touchdown for the kids from Mandarin came on just a bad snap interaction by St. Thomas, which was picked up by Mandarin and taken 75 yards to the house. So they gave me a good highlight at least, and we'll be able to show you that tonight on the Blitz.
All right, yeah, that's a tough sled, even though it seems like, and Mandarin might take their lump here tonight, but it seems like they're starting to find their way a little bit as this season gets into the past midway point of the campaign. What do you got tonight at Nice?
Yeah, so just pulling into Nice, and as I look at the scoreboard, we got 3.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. It's tied up at 7. They got the Fletcher Beach Reds. The Senators paying a visit. This was a game that was kind of quasi-thrown together thanks to Hurricane Dorian, so they added this one to the schedule, and we'll get some highlights here, and then I'll jet on over to that St. Johns County battle you were talking about earlier with Bartram Trail and Ponte Vedra.
Hey, Stu, I just want to tell you, St. Thomas Aquinas, my alma mater, that's where I got my coaching start at, too, and I graduated from down there. So
they only produce stars.
I was going to say that must be why they're so good.
Well, they didn't recruit me. We were going there. All 6 of us went there, so it wasn't no big deal, and I was the last one. So they didn't no recruiting the Sullivans over there. But, yeah, helped me. Coach George Smith, the athletic director, helped me in my career. Has always been sort of my mentor and everything. Coached me, coached my brothers. And so he actually called me a couple of weeks ago when they were scheduling this game up. And I said, oh, yeah, it'll be fun. I said, it'll be fun for you guys. It won't be fun for Mandarin is what I told him. So,
well,
yeah,
one of the best programs in the state.
Around there tonight.
Yeah, one of the best programs in the country, really. When you think of big-time football schools, St. Thomas Aquinas, certainly that. All right, man, thanks for checking in, and we'll have all your highlights tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. Stuart Weber, good hustling around the area tonight.
You got it. We'll see you guys later tonight, and I'm hoping we get some good highlights from that Ponte Vedra Bartram Trail game. The last Bartram Trail game I had, they scored all the highlights before I got there, and all I got were 2 field goals. So, hey, guys, let's save some for me this time.
Well, it's, I think, 7-7 right now, so maybe they'll save some fireworks late for you, and you'll be at that one. Stuart Weber does good work on our Friday Night Blitz, really puts it all together. He deserves all the credit, so we'll keep you up to date with some of the other scores. Here at the Graveyard, it's 7-0. Raines leads Sandalwood. An early score, second play from scrimmage for the Raines Vikings, and that's been everything in the entire first half. We'll see what shakes out in the second half from here at Raines High School as homecoming festivities continue here on the north side. We'll be back with our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690, including who we named Coach of the Week this week. thanks to Baker's Sporting Goods. That's coming up next on ESPN 690.
Golick and Wingo.
I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a kid than Josh Rosen, right? It's like deja vu for him. He's going through this all again. We may never know what Josh Rosen could or could not have been because of the two situations he's found himself.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
What's up, North Florida poker fans? This is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms in Jacksonville and Orange Park. The World Poker Tour returns to Jacksonville September 27th, and there's no better time to lock up your seat in the main event than right now. You will find satellites into the $5,000 buy-in main event for as little as $120. Satellites are going on now. Get ready to take your shot at $1 million prize pool in the WPT main event. For more detailed information, visit them on the web at bestbetjacks.com. Best Bet, where anybody can win.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
So your team scores. Suddenly you're best friends with perfect strangers. Tullamore Dew calls these friendships fanships. When the game is on, order a Tullamore Dew, the original triple-blended, smooth-sipping Irish whiskey for the person next to you. This game day, grab a Tully and strike up a fanship at...
Find Tullamore Dew in Jacksonville at Hoptinger Jacks Beach, Hoptinger 5 Points, and H. Jopton.
When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 2019, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Now, the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week halftime show. Here's Brent Martineau.
Halftime rolls on here at the Graveyard. Rains High School hosting Sandalwood in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on what's settled in to be a beautiful night here in Jacksonville. 7-0, Rains leads it. That's it. One scoring play of 65 yards, a couple turnovers for Sandalwood, a couple turnovers on downs. They've probably moved the ball more effectively than Rains. They just haven't been able to cash in as homecoming night continues here at Rains High School. Brent Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan, and I think it goes back to a theme that Adam Geist has been talking about, cashing in on some of the big play opportunities, and the Saints haven't been able to do it, Coach.
No, and like it goes back to, going back and looking at my keys to the game was catching the football and not missing the big opportunities. And they've missed a couple wide open guys running down the seams and had a couple drops early in the game, too, on that. They've done a decent job protecting Sims, except towards the end of the second quarter. The beginning of the first quarter, they did a better job, but as the game wore on, they haven't done as good a job protecting Sims. And then kicking game's really been non-existent as far as no really punt. They haven't punted at all, and they've gone for it on fourth down all the time. They haven't really punted but one time on that right there. The loose keys of the game for Rains was to get the offense sort of moving the ball consistently, and they really haven't been consistent with it. They've had some good runs. There's a penalty. They did have the touchdown run early on, but they've sort of moved it and then not moved it at a time. They want to get off the field on third down. I think they've done a good job. They forced them to go for it about 4 times on fourth down, getting one but missing the other 3. And then eliminate the penalties, and they have had some penalties, some motion guys, illegal man downfield, and that. But again, as far as the whole game, again, it's become a defensive slugfest. And if Sandalwood doesn't put it in the end zone, this could end 7-0 with them going home with their third loss in a row.
Which would be pretty wild, but we also have a chance to make this one heck of a finish here in the second half, so we'll see what happens. Want to mention our Baker Sports Coach of the Week. Baker Sports, homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport. Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Screen print, embroidery, trophies, all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game, looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker Sports. And they sponsor our Coach of the Week each and every Tuesday on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from 3 until 6. We name a new Coach of the Week. And this past week, Coach Jeff DeSandro from Ponte Vedra got the nod. How about the job he's done? Matt Toblin leaves, goes to Bowles after building a nice program at Ponte Vedra. DeSandro takes over. Always an interesting deal when you take over a program. And all he's got them is 5-0 and now facing Bartram Trail in a big battle tonight in St. Johns County.
Yeah, and the other thing about that, too, some of those kids left and went to Bowles with Toblin and everything. And Jeff's come in
and coaches.
And done a really nice job running his program. He's got a good background. He's coached in college. He's been a coordinator on the I want to believe the Division II and Division III level, so he's got a good mind. He did a really good job. He was at Kenny as the offensive coordinator last couple of years when Bobby Rollinson was the coach, and then to have the opportunity to go to Ponte Vedra, pretty similar where he was at Kenny, and be 5-0 and rolling pretty good, and nobody, I don't think anybody expected that.
I don't either, and we'll see if they can hang with Bartram today. That will be an eye-opener around the state, not just here in Jacksonville. If they can do some damage tonight. Of course, we'll have all those highlights on the Friday Night Blitz. Stuart Weber just said he's going to one of those games. He's at Nice as well and was at Mandarin St. Thomas Aquinas. All those games, all the highlights, including this one, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, tonight on the Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Some special announcements. Ceremonies, homecoming, all happening here at halftime at the Graveyard. Rains leads it 7-0. Our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. Second half action coming up right after this.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
How have binoculars and just the general discomfort that comes with using binoculars, how have we not improved that?
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Let's play some football in a couple of minutes. Our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. The Rains Vikings lead it 7-0 over the Sandalwood Saints. Low-scoring affair. Defense dominates in the second half. Couple of Sandalwood turnovers. Couple of turnovers on downs as well. So right now they're scratching their heads on the Saints sideline saying, man, we got to get this thing in the end zone. And we've had plenty of opportunities. One note for Sandalwood. Jeff Sims, the Florida State commit. Well, he was in front of his future coach today here at Rains High School because Willie Taggart, the Florida State head coach, dropped in via chopper right before the game to check out his 2020 commit. Should be an early enrollee in January in Willie Taggart's program. And, of course, Florida State has a bye week this week before they play Clemson. So that was a pretty cool sidebar for Sims and everybody else to see, well, the big-time recruiting world as the chopper landed on the practice field here at Rains High School. We get set for the second half. And you've already gone through the keys of the game, Coach. But Rains has a chance early in this half. They get the ball first to be able to extend the lead. And right now you'd think if they could get a 2-score game, that would be a big difference maker.
Yeah, so this series I think coming out is going to be most important on both sides, really, because defensively Sandals really, Jennings has probably got 10 tackles, maybe 2 sacks, a couple tackles for losses. And he sort of controlled the tempo with their guys. And then Rains is sort of, since that, they didn't not really fluid offensively at all. And I know they've got some new guys, and they're new here and there, but you don't usually see that from them as far as what they're trying to do. So I think this series here is going to be big, and if Rains can stick one in anytime in and get up 2 scores, we're going to have a heck of a game going down the stretch.
Well, Rains will get the ball first. Sandalwood will kick it away. And before we go, we have a whistle, and no surprise. That's kind of the way this thing has gone today. We wanted to get off and running in the second half. 7-0 our score. Nice job by the Rains High School marching band. They are fantastic each and every week on a Friday night or Saturday. Next week, in that Rains Revolt game, the pageantry will be fantastic. So fun to listen to during halftime.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that, Brent, usually they play late in the season, remember?
They did.
Usually they play late in the season, but they're in the same district for the first time in a long time. So now they're playing a little bit earlier. And that's going to be a big game because, we've seen Revolt beat Lee last night, Sandalwood 2 weeks ago. And Range, that game doesn't matter. There ain't no records involved in that. That's such a big festivity for the whole week. So coming out, that's going to be big, not only district implication, but also state playoff implication.
That only will add to the intrigue in that one the great rivalries here in Northeast Florida. All right. Well, they sent everybody to the sideline for a moment or two. And I think we're still trying to figure out so much confusion here to run a play as we try to get going in the second half. Thanks for hanging with us. Action Sports Checks on ESPN 690, Game of the Week. 7-0, Rains leads it, and we're just trying to start a second half.
Got Christian Schultz kicking off right here. Looked like they were going to onside that first time.
So did they call a timeout? I don't think so. I think it was an official
I think they were
timeout.
waiting for the band to get off the field because the
they might have
band was
done
still
that.
coming on the field.
Good call there. You're in charge of everything here. Schultz kicks it. Now we're underway in the second half. End over end and taken around the 10-yard line. And a big seam up the middle for Rains.
Nice
and then what a hit. What a hit. That was Romello Sutton on the coverage. He's been good in the secondary. He's good on special teams right there.
Yeah, Schultz got a good kick on that one.
He did.
Down about the 5.
I'll tell you what, Rains on the return had like the C's part.
Yes, in the
but
middle.
Sutton closed it up in a hurry.
Yeah, they did a good job getting that because that could have been about 90 yards on that one.
They'll take it around the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. I think Williams is back in there. They've been changing quarterbacks, or is that Butler, Coach?
I think that's Butler.
Yeah, it is Butler.
6,
So
yep.
Butler will go with his stay in the game. He's been in the second quarter, now gets it again. And the handoff and running or to the right is Nigel Smith. Actually, not so much. That's Jarius Stewart. So Stewart picks up a few yards on first down, sets up second down.
Yeah, good little
Rains.
Good little run play there. But 6-yard gain there, 5-6 yard gain there. So they didn't really do much of that in the first half. So I wonder if they're going to try to turn it over there.
Squeezing a lot of receivers on the near side of the field. Not a lot of room. So Butler takes the snap, fakes the handoff, now throws on the slant, and he's got a receiver. And that's caught Jalen Griffin, who has the touchdown, the lone touchdown in this game, complete for a first down and up around the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good ball. Little play fake out there, little counter tray. They pulled both guard and tackle, and he's reading that little slant. He puts it up in there and puts it right on the money. Really good drives. It's coming out. Two good plays, 2 positive plays to start the second half.
Carlton Butler Jr., the quarterback, the sophomore. Adrian Williams got the start. They split time, but they've been hanging with Butler here as of late. Trips to the left. Really the same setup, just on the opposite side of the field now. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line of Rains. They hand it off to Stewart. Stewart cuts it back up the field, now across midfield and into Sandalwood territory. And a nice gain again on first down.
Yeah, again, they're sort of settling in. They must have talked about, hey, let's just run at them. I think up front, the guys up front for Reigns are a little bit bigger than the D-line for Sandalwood, which Sandalwood's always have big D-linemen. They don't have those big space eaters inside like they used to have. And Reigns always got big kids. They need to just sort of lay on them a little bit right here and then pick and choose like they did on that pass.
Well, that'll be second and about 4 from the 48-yard line of Sandalwood. Early in the third quarter, 7-0 Reigns in the lead, and now we have a penalty and a stoppage of play. My guess is that's on the Vikings, and it'll back them up.
Again,
and it is. 2 minutes into the third quarter, 7-0 Reigns. They've come out with some positive plays, but now go backwards after the false start.
Yeah, and that's what they're trying to avoid. You know, they get, even though it's 2nd and 10, it was just 2nd and 5. Now it's 2nd and 10. So again, that sort of changes your play call on the second down play from what they've done. So again, you know, I think they can lean on them a little bit with those big guys up front a little bit.
On the 46-yard line.
So from their own 46-47, little screen play out to the left. Is that Stewart over there, or is it? We'll pick him up across midfield and down to about the 46-yard line. So they get all the penalty yards and a couple more to set up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a little bubble by the back out there, and the big old tackle got out there and moved out there. 76, I want to believe. Got out there and did a real good job of getting on the corner and give him a chance to get some of that yardage back. We got 3rd and short here. Big play right here, both sides.
So 46-yard line of Sandalwood. Reigns has it, 9 minutes and counting to go on the Saints side of the football field. 3rd and short 2, maybe 1, and Sandalwood gave it to him. I think Sandalwood jumped offside, and it was here on the near side of the football field. That was Jaquez Robinson.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He should be looking at the wide out. He shouldn't be looking down at the ball or anything like that. I don't know. That was not a real good penalty there.
Well, he's been doing a lot of talking to the Reigns sideline throughout the entire football game, and that was odd right there. You said it. Gives them a free first down. Now to the 40-yard line of the Saints. They'll set up 1st and 10. Stacked wide receivers on the right, man in motion on the left. They hand it off to Smith. Smith will bounce to the left, far sideline. Now cuts back in. A good chunk of yards now. That's at least a dozen and a first down for Nigel Smith.
Yeah, real good play. They come off the jet sweep action, hand the counter back to Smith coming back. They did a nice job of blocking it and getting on the edge and getting on there. But good play again. They've come out, establishing the run a little bit in the second half, slowing the game down a little bit, and doing a real good job. Bunch of positive plays coming out of halftime.
Well, this could be a big-time drive for Reigns now. They lead at 7-0. 4 minutes into the third quarter, they're driving, a lot of positive plays. They have a chance to go up a couple of scores. Now at the 25-yard line of the Saints, 1st and 10. Fumbled snap by Butler. He now will bounce outside, try to run with it, but nothing doing there because I think Mr. Jennings and a host of other Saints are right back there to sack him behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they dropped a snap, and then instead of just picking it up and going and getting what he can, then he sort of tried to dance around a little bit. You're not going to be able to do that with those guys up there. Real a lot of speed on that Sandalwood defense. But again, our boy 9 just came off. I don't know if he's hurt. It looks like they're looking at his arm or shoulder right there. He's been playing wide out. He's been real active on both sides. Reggie Harden.
Yeah, he's been awesome on the defensive side especially. So that could be a big blow. We'll keep our eye on it. 7.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 7-0 Reigns. Reigns on the move. They just went backwards to the 32-yard line. Loss of 7, so it's 2nd and 17. Butler gets a snap, looks down the field, now under pressure, and he's sacked and brought down at the 40. Is that Jennings again?
Oh.
I don't think that one was Jennings, Coach.
I don't know. He went
that
down
was 34 instead of 44. So that was Elijah Jones instead. He gets in on the fun. That's 2 consecutive sacks.
Yeah, that's a pretty good job. Again, they got behind the chains there a little bit right there, and they got a thing. Elijah Jones, he's got 4 sacks on the year coming in, and he's done a real good job. Jennings, of course, leads them in sacks, and he's picked up a couple tonight too. But again, those linebackers are real active in there. And this brings up a third and a long.
Well, it's third and 25. All the way back to the 40-yard line. Call it the 39. We'll give them an extra yard. So third and 24. They got to get all the way to the 15.
Screen.
They set up the screenplay. They've got it. It's Stewart. Stewart dancing down to the 30. 25 still on his feet across the field to the 20. There's a flag down. 15-10. Can he get into the end zone? Big play for a first down and maybe even a touchdown. Yeah, they call it a touchdown. Wow, Darius Stewart. He was fast off the screenplay. And they score from 39 yards out, but it's coming back. It looks like there's a flag down around the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it was a hold. It looked like they got up on Jennings and just grabbed him and sort of held him because he was signaling it right away, and then the flag came out. Jennings was coming, and the lineman got up on top of him, and I think just reached around and grabbed him. I don't know if that was the right guard or the center up on Jennings. Really good design screenplay right there. Really good design. But the official saw that. The back judge saw that right away and threw it right away. But again, it's still going to be positive yards by where the hole was at.
Yeah, they'll go to the spot, but it won't be enough for a first down. Remember, they had to get all the way down to the 15-yard line. It was third in a bundle.
Right.
Like it was third and 24. So even though they got a nice gain, it will be brought back to about the 31-yard line. So they'll still set up a third and 16. And might you try the same play?
You could, but I've only seen that happen one time where you throw back-to-back screens.
One time?
Well, when we were coaching, we were playing somebody, and they threw screen, and then my guy ball out blitzed the next play, and they threw the screen again. And I'm like,
they got you.
He's like, they've never done that on film before. I'm like, that happens. It happens. They're coaching too, They're coaching too.
We got timeout on the field now, 6:10 to go.
Really good drive, though, Brett. 6 minutes, even though it's long, they've done a good job. They've established the run a little bit. And I think they need to stay with that a little bit because they seem to be found something on the left side that they really like running that way. Had some good success. Real good job on the screenplay. Just unfortunate for the hold.
Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan here. Action Sports Jack's Game of the Week on ESPN 690. And, of course, the Friday Night Blitz tonight, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Glad to be able to bring you this one from the Graveyard. Rains High School, the Sandalwood Saints. Rains leads at 7-0. Of course, the two-time defending state champs. The Saints have a bunch of firepower, including Jeff Sims, Florida State commit. Willie Taggart was here earlier in the day, the Florida State head coach. But this one's been a defensive struggle because of what we just see happen. They march forward, and then penalties bring it backward. And so that's a yo-yo that's been happening for both offenses in this game. Right now it's 3rd and 16 from the 31 of the Saints. Back out there after the timeout, trips to the right. Butler, the sophomore QB, has some time, looks down the field, throws right. There's contact, and there's a flag as Reginald Harden was going to be the intended receiver. And Sutton looks like he lost him on the play. That should be a first down.
Yeah, remember in high school now, it's not automatic first down. It's a 15-yard penalty. I don't know.
That was 3rd and 16, so it'll be 3rd and 1.
Right. So again, they'll get that yardage back. But again, everybody doesn't know if you watch this on the feed. Even though that ball was thrown, there's no uncatchable rule in high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though he just reached back and just slung it out there, I want to see more of a defensive holding more than pass interference if you wanted that.
So they're going to replay 3rd down, but now it's a 3rd and 1. Keep in mind,
they gave him first down.
Oh, did they give it a first down? I don't think that's a first down.
I thought it was. Nope, 3rd and short. Okay,
I'm
sorry. I saw official.
There you go. 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1, yep.
Been an interesting series.
I mean, this has been 3rd and 24, touchdown, 3rd and 16, now 3rd and 1. So here we go with 6:04 to go in the third quarter. Shotgun snap to Butler. He'll run it. He eludes a tackler, picks up a first down inside the 15 and the 13. That's a first down, but guess what we have? Yeah, some more laundry on the field.
Tackle made on the play by number 8, Christian Ellis.
And it's a hold against the Rains Vikings. Are you having trouble charting this one, Coach?
Yeah.
This is a drive that has gone back and forth and back. I feel like I'm on a seesaw watching this drive from the Rains Vikings to start the third quarter. This is still the first drive of the third quarter, right?
Yes. Yes. And remember,
6:01 gone by in the third, so it's a heck of a drive.
Yeah, they've eaten up some clock. They've done a good job on it. But, again, the penalties now, it's 3rd and 10. So we've had, what would you say, 3rd and 25?
We had 3rd and 24. We had a touchdown called back, so then it was 3rd and 16. Then we had a pass interference to make it 3rd and 1. And now it's 3rd and 10 after the hold right at the line of scrimmage. So here we go. 5:40 and counting in the third. Raines tries again. Butler has some time, has a receiver. Looks like it's Smith or Stewart on the far side. He dives forward for the first down. Let's see where they spot it. It's in front of the Sandalwood bench. And they think
Ball's
they have
out.
the football. Will the ball come out? He tried to reach forward. I didn't see the ball come out. I would have been surprised. He would have been down there.
Yeah, that was a good job right there.
So after all that, the Raines Vikings get a first down, and I don't see a flag on the field.
Yeah, that was a good job by there getting the first down and getting the thing moved around a little bit right there.
By the way, that was Kareem Burke, the receiver. It wasn't Smith or Stewart on the play. Number 8, Kareem Burke, getting the first down. It's a good individual effort to get the first. So here we go, inside the 15-yard line now. 5 minutes and counting to go in the third quarter. 7-0, Raines leads it over Sandalwood, and they're driving on the opening drive of the third. This time they give it to Nigel Smith, and he is hit by Jennings. Jennings coming from the linebacker spot, and, Coach, I didn't have to look at the number. I saw the body flying.
Yeah, you can always tell. It always goes backwards. He doesn't missing the hole that much. Again, they get a little established, a little nice drive right here, man. This is sort of what Raines wanted to do, except for the penalty part of it. But just a really nice drive in there right now.
Brett Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks game of the week. You'll see some of these highlights tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. Thanks for hanging out with us. And if you're listening, ESPN 690, ESPN690.com. You can also watch the video feed. Mark Doherty doing the camera work. We appreciate his efforts. Show it on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. 4:15 and counting in the third now. 2nd down and 10. Butler on the move. Slides up in the pocket. Runs left. Has some room. Down to the 5 and into the end zone, or a fumble on the ground. Did he drop it before the end zone and Sandalwood has it? Let's see what the officials say. The Saints think so. This could be a big play on who ends up with this football, because they are in the end zone right now fighting over the football, and the officials are trying to figure out who has it. A nice run by the sophomore Butler. He picked up the first down. It looked like he was going in for a touchdown. And who has the football on the far side of the field? We still don't know. They're pulling people off the pile. And the Saints say they've got it? No.
Raines.
The Raines says they have it. It's a touchdown. After all that, I think both people came out of the pile, both teams, and said, we got it. The officials said hands up for a touchdown after all that.
I know Lampley still got the ball walking to the Raines sideline right there. Lampley still had the ball.
And he plays for Sandalwood, number 7. So he's saying, what the heck? I had the football.
We got to go to the challenge flag on that one. And, of course, it's on the far end away from us. It couldn't have been on this thing, so we could have seen it right there.
Yeah, a lot happening on that far side on this drive. But the end result is a touchdown by the sophomore QB Butler. He runs it in. That was a nifty run, a nice run. But somehow lost the football right before the goal line. But ends up in the end zone. Raines does with the football. That's a touchdown after they all figured it out. And now it's a 2-score football game as we await the extra point.
Yeah, I think he lost the ball. He had the ball down low, and when they dove, I think they swapped and knocked it out. And I don't think he recovered it. I think one of the other guys, one of the wideouts might have recovered it, or the Sandalwood guy from what it looked like up here, but we can't see it being on the far side.
Well, here we go. The snap, the hold, the whistle for the extra point. It's 13-0 game. Raines leads it. And a penalty on Raines will. No, they do call it good. Did they blow the whistle before the kick?
I don't know what's going on with this officiating crew, but
the extra points have been interesting to say the least.
Yeah, very.
They blew the whistle before the snap.
As soon as the ball snapped, he blew the whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, end of the day, they say Raines kicked it in and it was good.
Well, let's
we'll
not take
go with
away
that.
from that
Nigel
drive,
Smith.
though, right there.
How about an 8-minute drive to start the third quarter?
Well, 4 minutes of it was penalties.
They actually, on the drive that started at their own 25-yard line, so it covered 75 yards. It might have covered about 140 yards.
Yeah, but it was a really good drive. A lot of runs in there that I think really kept Sandalwood off balance a little bit because I think they've got some experience on the offensive line, and they need to stay on that. And everything to the left, they've been doing a good job running behind the big guy over there, 76, 6'4", 300 pounds. Marquell, I want to say Holson, real good player of him. Marquell Holden, left tackle.
So now it's 14-0. Reigns leads it. Let's see if the Saints can get something going. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Oh, the squib kick hits the up man, and they have to dive all over it. The Saints do that. So there's been some odd-looking kicks here tonight at Reigns High School. Sandalwood has handled them okay, and they'll get pretty good field position out of this, too, because they fell on it around the 38, 39-yard line.
Yeah, really good job there by the up back, number 30. Picked the ball up, hit him, and he had enough sense to fall on it and everything. So we'll see what Sandalwood's going to do coming out right here. If they're going to try to establish the run, or if they're going to have the same game plan they had in the first half.
Well, the Reigns defense has been good. 2 turnovers they forced, 2 turnovers on downs in addition to that. Been a little bend but don't break at times, and that front has been really effective against Jeff Sims. So here comes Sims, down 14. He goes to work from his own 36-yard line, and they hand it off to Huntley, and Huntley's got nothing doing. And instead, it's a tackle for a loss back there. Is that Neely? I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's Neely. Been real active. Neely's been real active in that spot.
So a loss of a couple of yards. It brings up 2nd and 13 now. Back at the 33-yard line of Sandalwood.
Still no, Sandalwood's got to get some movement, but they don't have to go all-out panic mode and everything right here. Just run the offense.
Sims has Huntley next to him, fakes it to him, now throws over the middle to Embry. Embry almost shakes loose, but a nice gain across midfield and down to the 41-yard line of Reigns. So a nice pass and catch, Sims to Embry. That's been a heck of a connection.
Yeah, a little RPO there. They just catch it. The outside backer stepped up, threw the slant up underneath it. Nice hit. Good touchdown saving tackle right there by Smith.
Boy, Embry's been almost loose a couple of times in this football game. I don't know why you wouldn't try that a couple more times. He's about ready to break it. Number 12 for Sandalwood's done a little bit of everything tonight. Good kick return, punt return. He punts it, and some nice pass catches as well. So here they go, 1st and 10 at the 42 of Reigns. Sims, high snap, has it, gets it to Kinsey in the middle of the field. Kinsey trying to shake loose down to the 25, the 20-yard line, and there needs to be a few Reigns tacklers to bring him down. Kinsey's tough. He's long, and he's also pretty physical.
Yeah, Sims did a good job. High snap on that, caught it, still threw on the timing, put a good laser ball right in the hands of Kinsley. Kinsey did a good job after the catch running it.
So now Sandalwood in quick strike mode, 2:40 to go and counting in the third quarter, down 14. But 2 big plays have them in a pretty good position. 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Sims now being rushed, throws it over the top to Kinsey. Touchdown in the end zone. Yes, it is. Sims to Kinsey. But look out, Sims now limping a little bit as he got hit. In the end, though, it's a touchdown. The first points on the board for the Saints.
Well, again, they had that earlier and they didn't complete it. They run the back out in motion, and then they get the mismatch on the big, tall 6'4" wideout who's the tight end. And Sims hung in there as long as he could and just put it up high. Kinsey did a nice job, and then Sims paid the price, but he hung in there. Nice ball he threw on that one.
Well, you said he paid the price. He's limping off the field and now being helped off the field. Kind of hopped off the field on his own power for the most part, but keep an eye on that. Jeff Sims, the Florida State commit. Big drive for Sandalwood. 3 quick passes. Bam, 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 right down the field. Kinsey getting a couple of them, including the finishing one for a touchdown.
Yeah, again, good job on that drive. Again, Sims up seems to be moving around pretty good, too.
He's trying to run it off a little bit, so that's good for him. Schultz now on the extra point. It's a big one, and he makes it. He's got a good leg. 14-7 now, just like that. How about that? Reigns takes 8 minutes to score, making a 2-score game, and Sandalwood comes back in 1 minute and 38 seconds and says, wait a minute, not so fast. We're here to stay.
Yeah, and they're a little fired up over there on the Sandalwood sideline right now. But, again, that's a big drive. Reigns had a big drive, and then Sandalwood got a chance to answer, so now they got to hang in there and keep it going. Both teams are playing hard defensively. Again, may have found what they want to do. But, again, good momentum. We're going to have a good finish on this one finally, Brent. We're going to have a good one to finish.
Looks like we're going to. We'll see what happens here. The Reigns Vikings, the Sandalwood Saints. The Vikings, the two-time defending state champs, lead at 14-7 on our Action Sports Shacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Of course, you'll see all the TV highlights on the Friday Night Blitz tonight, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Also, you can see the video live right now on our social media platforms. On Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. Look up Action Sports Jacks, ESPN 690, or on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. As we got a good one now here at the Graveyard. 2:26 to go in the third quarter. Brett Martineau along with Kevin Sullivan. Some of the talent starting to shine. 3-2 Sandalwood, but they've lost a couple in a row. 2-2 Reigns. Had a bye week a week ago, trying to find stride as the two-time defending state champs, and they await a big rivalry game next week against Ribault, who all of a sudden the Trojans are pretty hot, so that will be a good one next Saturday. Schultz now will launch one up in the air, a little pooch kick, and a nice smart move on a fair catch, and I think we'll get a flag on top of that as, well, Jennings, he's been hitting everybody, and he hit that time ill-advised.
Yeah. That was Jennings for sure. You could tell because he went backwards. But it was a fair catch on that part.
Yeah.
But that's not a good penalty. It should just be, depends on what they call. Hopefully it's just a 5-yard interference and not a 15-yard personal foul.
Why do you think the pooch kick right there? I mean, it really never had a chance of being recovered. Almost like kicking it out of bounds a little more downfield, don't you?
Yeah, either kick it out of bounds. I think they're worried about the return.
Well, absolutely, I get it.
You know, we had it open up, and they made a nice job on the tackle right there. But they called that a 15-yard penalty.
No, it should be. That was a pretty big wallop. And that will move the ball to the 43-yard line of Sandalwood. Now the Saints probably just like, hey, we should have onside kicked.
Yeah, at least they had a chance to get it, right?
So special teams mistake
quarterback
and
change.
Penalty. And Adrian Williams, the quarterback who started the football game, will come back in. Butler led the last scoring drive.
On the 46-yard line.
Yeah, again, don't know why they're doing any rhyme or reason, but they know we know they're gonna play both.
So from the 43 on 1st and 10, a little jet sweep action, and they hand it off.
Good tackle by 8 DB.
And that's Kareem Burke, who's been a little more active in the offense for the Reigns Vikings, but nowhere to go as the Sandalwood defense stands him up. They'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. 2 minutes to go down the third quarter, 14-7. Reigns in the lead. They're of excellent field position, a chance to answer right back to a Sandalwood touchdown.
Yeah, without a doubt. This will be a big drive for both sides. Sandalwood's defense got to get it going, and Reigns got to get some points and move it, keep moving it.
Nigel Smith in the backfield on the left hip of Adrian Williams. Starting quarterback hands it to Smith. Smith cuts it back up the field. Has a hole, a big hole, and down for a first down inside the 30 to 25, and they'll mark him about the 23-yard line. The running game has been working in the second half. Smith breaks off a big gainer.
Yeah, that's a good job. Good job up front with the movement on there. A little pull play, look like counter on this side. Got out there, did a good job of logging the block and hitting the crease and goal.
So it's 1st and 10, a minute and a half now to go in the third quarter. All of a sudden, I feel like we have fireworks in the last few minutes of the third quarter. It's getting fun. Back and forth we go. Reigns and Sandalwood. The Vikings lead by 7, and it looks like they might be going in again. Have the football inside the 25-yard line of the Saints. They hand it off right up the middle. Maybe a couple following the center down to the 20.
Yeah, good little move. Again, don't be in a hurry. You got the lead. You got the good ball, good spot to put the ball, move it around a little bit, and just take your time and just keep doing what you're doing. It's real positive. Lean, let your big guys lean on those guys up there.
Smith will be in the backfield once again. Reigns not in really any hurry. They have it. 2nd down and about 7. Inside a minute to go in the third quarter, and we have a penalty. The official is explaining it to Duran Wiley, a legal substitution. Well, here we go again. That's what Duran Wiley's probably saying, right? We get the ball moving, and then we got to start going backwards.
Yeah, the legal substitution, but I don't know. Oh, he addressed the ball, so yeah, they got 12 guys on the field.
So they call it 2nd and 11 from the 25 once again. Trips to the right. Hands off to Smith. Smith goes left, cuts back up the middle, has some room inside the 20. A big hit, bowls over a defender, and down to the 17-yard line. Might be the final play of the third quarter, but this running game's really working.
Yeah, they just, again, they're working down, bringing the backside tackle around on the wrap play up top and getting some real good movement. I'm telling you, they need to stay behind Holden up top. He is caving that side down. Big number 76 down there is just caving that thing down right there.
Nigel Smith starting to run downhill, and the Reigns Vikings knocking on the door once again. They lead it 14-7 here in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. We go to quarter number 4. Got a good one here at the Graveyard. Hang with us on our Game of the Week here on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Welcome back. Our Game of the Week, fourth quarter action just underway. 14-7, Reigns leads it over Sandalwood. Brent Martineau and Kevin Sullivan. Third down and a couple of yards for Reigns. They snap the football. They hand it to Smith. He's been running downhill. Shakes a tackler initially, but can't shake the last one. Nice play by Sandalwood, short of the first down.
Yeah, Keel Lampley down there, outside linebacker making the tackle. Thought he was going to bounce that outside. He did a good job of closing off. One of the inside guys got a little penetration on the guard. But now it's, 4th and 2?
Well, that's a big play by Lampley. Lampley thought he had the turnover in the end zone, remember, on the last possession, too. So he's starting to show up here in the second half. 11 and a half minutes to go in this football game. One-score game. 4th down, so a decision to make for Reigns. They're going to stay on the field with the offense. Just 4th and a couple of yards inside the 20-yard line. And now Reigns will say, let's talk it over and drop a right play. What do you like here? What's been working? I mean, the running game's been good in the second half.
Yeah, they got, Harden's come back in at the tight end spot, to get that extra side. They've had real good success running on the left, but also they've been able to throw that backside slant coming off the RPO off that counter. So we may see a little bit of that RPO look right there, depending on where they end up with Jaquez Robinson, the DB, if he's on the left side or the right side. So I want to see how Sandalwood's going to answer that formation. Tight end trips to the left with a single over there. Are they going to put Jaquez on the single on the top side or not? So that's what I'm seeing.
Right? Keep an eye on number 44. Brandon Jennings has had an unbelievable game for Sandalwood. He's been a game wrecker on defense. Lampley, you just said, had a nice play. He's had a couple of nice plays in the second half. He's another one to keep an eye on for the Sandalwood Saints. They got a little bounce in their step way back inside the 15-yard line.
Yeah, somebody always told me in don't think plays, think players in the short yardage stuff. Something you've got to have. Don't think about the play, think about the players.
Well, here we go. 4th down. The snap is fumbled away. Williams picks it up. He's running for his life, and he's not going to be able to go anywhere. That will be a turnover on downs. Of course, the botch snap failed everything there, and Sandalwood was able to pounce all over the Reigns Vikings. It's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, that didn't look – it didn't look like he was ready for the snap or not.
I think it was Jarius Stewart, by the way. They had taken Williams out of the game and put Stewart, who's their quick back in the Wildcat, couldn't handle the snap.
Yeah, snap was a little bit off again. That's the thing you take when you don't have experienced guys back there. Changing the cadence, so now you got to call the cadence, and you're not used to calling the cadence. Center's not used to hearing the cadence. And so you get the errant snap right there.
Well, a huge play in this football game. Turnover on downs, 11:08 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Saints get it back. They just scored in 1 minute and 38 seconds on their last drive. They take over around the 25-yard line. Sims, shotgun snap, looks left, has time, throws down the middle of the field incomplete.
Yeah, they're trying to get to Emery on the little high dig up top. I think he was trying to throw the out up there. Safeties did a good job, and he sort of just threw that one. Nobody there.
Embry's been all over the place. If they get Embry in the middle of the field, look out. He's been so close.
Yeah, very impressed with him.
Slipping a big one.
All the guys that they have, he's been probably overall the most impressive of all of them.
Well, Forrest got off to a good start. Kinsey had a couple big catches on the last drive. 11:03 now to go in the final quarter. 14-7, Reigns leads it. Sims signals Embry to be in motion. Now he loses the snap, a high one. He jumps on the football and recovers it, but loses a good chunk of yardage. A big mistake on the snap. Sims couldn't handle it. It was high, and there's been several of them that have been high. He's been able to handle them. Not that time.
Yeah, it was not a good timing for the bad snap right there. And, again, they've got enough weapons to be able to get it, but, boy, now what's it going to be, third and about 25?
Well, it's third down at the 12-yard line, and they have to get out to the 35. So third and 23, 10.5 minutes and counting. Sandalwood at their own 12, going left to right, and down by a touchdown. Sims throws it out to the right side. That's Forrest, and his first catch in a while, but they covered that up this time.
Yep. They kept everything in front. Again, they weren't going to let him run by. They changed the coverage, went to too deep. And, again, just threw something safe out there. But, again, they haven't been great in the punting game now. So we'll see if this field position continues to favor Reigns.
Some big snap mistakes for both teams
sides, yep.
on the last two possessions. Jalen Embry, Mr. Do Everything, the senior, is also the punter. So he'll punt from his own goal line.
Trayvon Hobbs is deep. He's electric with the ball in his hands,
Remember now, Hobbs fumbled one in the first quarter looking into the sun, but he's back at midfield.
Snap.
Embry kicks it away. Gets a good one off, too. High, end over end. It will bounce around the 47, crosses midfield, now into Reigns territory at the 45. I think that's about as good as you could ask for from Embry and Sandalwood, as they don't necessarily flip the field, but they give their defense some room to work.
Give them some room, that's on their side. It's on the Reigns side of the 50 right there. Really good punt. You'd like to see Hobbs fair catch that so it doesn't bounce another 6-7 yards on that, which it could have bounced and got a lot more, but they'll take it right there.
I know you coaches in high school, you hold your breath on special teams.
Man.
I think you take that if you're Adam Geis right there. So from their own 45, it's 1st and 10. In motion goes Burke. Now the handoff. Here's Stewart. Stewart running left. And out of bounds as they cross midfield. He's quick, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, he does a good job. And the thing about him is when he gets in there, they've got a bunch of big guys up front, so you can't quite see him, and then all of a sudden, boom, he finds a little crease and spurts out. Got good little motor on. It's a good first down call right there.
Adrian Williams in the game at quarterback. They've been shuffling QBs in this football game for Reigns. The two-time defending state champs lead it by a touchdown. 9:15 to go in the fourth. They have it across midfield now, 2nd and 2. Burke comes in motion again. Williams, Stewart next to him. Smith ahead of him. Gives it to Stewart. In between the tackles, now down inside the 45. So a tough run that time by Stewart. Picks up the first down, and he'll keep the chains moving.
Yeah, good little rat play, 75. Get up in there. Rat be the lead blocker on that play with the fullback in there. Really good change of pace, but they've been running the counter stuff, and now they get a little inside power game going.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line of Sandalwood. Reigns trying to go in maybe for the knockout blow here. Williams at quarterback. He hands back to Stewart again. Stewart running in between the tackles. This time will be stuffed after maybe a yard or two.
Yeah, again, Jennings down there in there. The inside guys did a good job. Again, Brett, I like the pull stuff that they've been doing, and they've just sort of run a little zone on that play, and doesn't seem to be. They need to get their big guys on their little guys because they're a lot bigger offensive line wise than than Sandalwood is defensive line-wise. And so instead of zone it, just keep doing the down wrap stuff. It's been real successful.
Well, they're certainly not in a hurry.
No.
Nor should they be. Coming up on 8 minutes to go in the football game, they lead by a touchdown. They have it 2nd and 7 on the 40-yard line of Sandalwood. Hand off to Stewart. He's quick, finds a hole, bounces it, and just brought down at the end. Almost broke away from that tackle inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that was a real good tackle. Getting down there, wrapping him up. That was number 8. Again, he's been real active. Number 8 getting in the alley.
Yeah, it's Christian Ellis.
Ellis.
Doing a nice job.
Yep, did a good job. Again, he's getting downhill, and that would have been a big play, and he made that's a good open field tackle there.
Maybe a game-saving tackle at this moment because Stewart breaks through there. Man, is he quick and maybe off to the races. 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth. 3rd down and about 3 yards, maybe a long 3, short 4. The 36, 37-yard line of Sandalwood. The snap, the hand, and is that Jennings again back there?
No, that's 41.
I saw 4, and I figured it was Jennings, but it's not. Stewart dropped for a loss of a few yards as Sandalwood was all over that play that time. A really good read by the Saints defense.
James Walton, the defensive end, I think he came in unblocked. I don't know if they were supposed to read that, and then he was supposed to pull it and keep it, but he handed. They didn't have a chance on that one.
Well, my guess there's so much attention on Brandon Jennings, 44 for the Saints, and it's opening up some doors for some other folks. And that time they knocked the door down. So Neely will come on to punt it away. A big stop by the Saints. Huge stop. As we approach 6.5 minutes to go in the football game. Saints down by a touchdown. At midfield, Neely will kick it. Gets off a good one. Punting has been good. And the ball goes into the end zone. Off the hands of the return man, but it didn't matter. Touchback. And the Saints will get the football. And now you're starting to see possessions dwindle. This could be it, or maybe one more toward the end of the game. They have to cash in soon, Coach.
Yeah, we've had some good action now. At the beginning of the game, we had a lot of good offensive action. Then the third quarter, we had some good action, and then we're back playing defense again. So it's been a pretty interesting night, as far as that goes. But both these defenses, you got to give them credit now. They've done a really good job taking care of things.
Yeah, and that being said, some good tackling, some big-time plays, and you feel like just a moment away from breaking a big play open. We have a timeout, one more water break to go, and then we have 6 minutes and 27 seconds. That could be really fun here at the Graveyard. The Rains lead the Sandalwood Saints 14-7. Our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Golick and Wingo.
I think my jersey was one of the top-selling jerseys around the world, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to.
I respect Tim Tebow. I respect his opinion. I love his passion. I just could not disagree with it more.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Here we go. Sims launches it downfield to Kinsey on 1st and 10 from his own 20, and it falls incomplete on the far side of the football field, right in front of the Saints bench. Would have been a big gainer, but not really close on that connection.
That's sort of the same play they threw the touchdown, except he ran more of a corner route, get the corner to jump on the motion guy. And again, they moved Embry into the backfield to run that swing that time. So I think
he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I think the Rains might have seen that and realized that's what they were trying to do.
We got a good one here. 6:21 to go in the football game here at Rains High School. The Vikings lead 14-7 over Sandalwood. The Saints have it at their own 20-yard line, facing a 2nd and 10. Possession starting to get minimal here late in the game. But they just need a touchdown to make a game of it here in the fourth. Empty set for Sims. The Florida State commit gets the shotgun snap, looks over the middle of the field and overthrows Huntley, the receiver. There's a flag down late on the play as well. And will we get a roughing the passer?
Yep.
Yes, we will. That's a free 15 for Sims and the Saints.
Yeah, they do a good job protecting the quarterback. You just got to know, man, especially in this situation here. They're getting ready to face 3rd and 10, and now you give them a first down.
Well, Sims didn't even hit the deck.
Right. He might have
never even hit the turf.
Might have swiped at his head and hit him in the head or hit him in the face.
Well, it's a big play. Now out to the 35-yard line, but more importantly, maybe a new set of downs. It was going to be 3rd and 10. Now it's 1st and 10. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 Game of the Week. We'll show you all the highlights tonight on the Friday Night Blitz on CBS 47 and Fox 30. 1st and 10 from the 35. Sims has a snap. Plenty of time. Crossing pattern and a receiver. And the receiver on the play is Winford Anderson. First time we've heard from Winford here tonight. It's a good pickup, though.
Yep, just a little dig route in there and got a ball, little good 8-yard pickup. Again, but Brain's got to bring some pressure here now. They haven't brought any pressure. He's sitting back there all day. He'll pick you apart. You don't give him time. Yeah, you got to get after that.
Sims looking really comfortable back there in that pocket. And he hasn't been all night, but in the last couple of drives, he certainly looks so. So 5:41, the clock's still moving. 2nd and 2. Down by a touchdown for the Saints, going left to right here at Raines High School, here at the Graveyard. Huntley back there with Sims for a little extra protection. Tries to pick up the blitz. They throw left. It looks to be completed to Kinsey. He's got it across the 45 for a first down and slow to get up.
I think that's Forrest, 19.
Okay, it's Forrest. You're right. Big body guy who's had a nice game. That's his 5th reception.
First down. Yep, gave him the first down, got to the sticks. Little outright. There's a big drive right here. Just sort of semblance. Last year, same thing sort of happened, except Raines was driving for the winning score in a tied game, and they had to get it. So, again, got to bring some pressure again. They got to get on him a little bit.
Those are the ball over the 45 now. 1st and 10 for Sims and the Saints. Sims hands it to Huntley. Has a seam on the left side across midfield down to the 45. And a nice run. We haven't seen the run game too often here tonight for the Saints, but that was a nice pickup.
Yeah, that's a first down. That's a good run right there. Oh, they got a holding penalty.
Well, there's a flag down there. I saw the Raines folks jumping around, and I thought maybe there was a loose ball at the end, but instead it was the flag everybody was pointing to. And you know what that means. It was holding on the run play. No wonder why that big hole opened up.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that hole was on that side right at the point of attack. But, again, they've been doing a good job of rotating those guys, so they're staying pretty fresh on the D-line.
All right, so instead of into Raines territory, the hold brings it back to their own 40-yard line. And it sets up a first down and 20. Sims in the empty set, looks right, throws down the field, and to no man's land. The receiver once again runs a cutoff route. That was Embry. They've had some communication issues at times tonight.
Yes. He should have. He threw the takeoff on that, and he sat the route down. Again, Raines doing a good job matching up on that out route on number 3 on the out route. But again, it's been a little bit more pressure on him that time. You can't let him get comfortable.
A little more pressure starting to come too.
Yeah. Harden came up. Number 9 came off the field. Harlan came off. He's been real active back there, but he came off again with his hand or wrist or something.
2nd and 15 now from the 39. Kinsey has it on the right side. Almost picked. Got popped pretty hard. Yep. And out to the 47. It is complete. So bring up a 3rd and manageable for the Saints.
Yeah, that was a good job by the DB breaking on the ball. Almost made a really good play.
Kinsey's been good, huh? He goes out and gets that football.
Yeah. Latmere did a good job, and Trayvon Hobbs come downhill and lay the boom on him on that one. He might get my hit stick on that one.
Here we go. We're rolling up on 4 minutes to go in the football game. 14-7, Raines leads it big down here. 3rd and 8 at the 47-yard line for Sandalwood. Sims. Shotgun, has the snap, looks left, being pressured, throws it up for grabs and almost intercepted. He was trying to get it to Kinsey, but there were 2 Raines Vikings that got their hands on that one. Incomplete. And now what? 4th down and 8. Do you go for it on your side of the football field, or do you try to get it back?
That was McNair. Went right through his hands, man. He's had a couple good big plays today. Went right through his hands on that. But they're going to go for it here on 4th and 8. I don't know.
I would too, Coach.
You think so?
I think so.
You've been playing.
You might not get it back.
Been playing pretty good on defense, though. Oh, there's a flag. Wait, we just got a sideline flag from that guy on that side. I'm not going to say anything negative about the officials.
Well, let's see what it is.
That was my goal today, Brett, by the way.
That was, well, you've done an okay job. Just an okay job. But let's see what it is. Sideline warning, sideline penalty, because they didn't even line up.
I think it's a warning. It's probably it's a warning.
Okay, sideline warning.
Come on, it's a high pressure game, man. Come on, see what we got.
3:54 to go in the football game. 14-7. Reigns leads here at the Graveyard. The two-time defending state champs up by a touchdown over Sandalwood Saints at the 47-yard line. 4th and 8. Here we go. Big play. Sims out of the shotgun. Drops back to pass. He's being pressured. They set up the screen to Embry. Embry has it across the field. Down to midfield at 45-40. 35. First down and more. 30-yard line down to the 27. He's still fighting across the 25 and down to the 24-yard line. Jalen Embry, he's been the star on offense. What a big play on 4th down.
Yeah, that was a really good call right there. They did a good job. They were man coverage, and the corner couldn't get there, and the lineman got enough in the way to get on the linebacker and create that crease. And Reigns really didn't bring any pressure on that. So really good job, good call. But I'll tell you what, I was talking about earlier about Embry. He's a guy that we did know about coming in that's done a really good job, really caught your eye. Real explosive player.
Yeah, he's been great, and in big-time moments, they seem to go to him, too. They know he's their big-time player. So here we go from the 24-yard line of Reigns. Now down a touchdown, 3.5 to go. High snap, they hand it to Huntley. Huntley has a hole. He might score. Down inside the 15, the 10, touchdown. Huntley with the touchdown, and Sandalwood is an extra point away from tying this football game up.
Man, that's been exciting, though, right there, man. We got a little excitement in the fourth quarter. Yes, sir.
Jeremiah Huntley scores from 24 yards out. They opened up a huge hole for him. He did the rest. 3:19 to go in the football game, and it's 14-13. You go for the extra point or two?
Well, you know what they say. If you're on the road, you go for the win.
Now, they've lost 2 games in a row.
I think they'll kick the extra point. Because your defense is playing good, you may get an opportunity to get the ball back. So I think it'd kick the extra point on this one.
Well, and they have a good kicker, too,
yes.
Christian Schultz. You know, sometimes in high school football, you're kind of 50-50 with those extra points.
Right.
I think they feel pretty good about the guy they have.
Right, yeah, I think so, too. They better get enough guys on the field, first off. Get enough guys on the field.
Well, this would be worth a timeout if you have to spend one.
Well,
obviously, it's 14.
They're missing a guy on the right side.
14-13 is our score. Huntley just scored, and now we await the extra point that could tie this thing up. Adam Geis is talking to the officials.
They're missing a guy. They're missing the right. They only got 2 guys on the right side of the center.
Now they're trying to hustle him on, but they're going to snap it without him.
Oh, my goodness.
Schultz gets it up, and is it good? It is good. They did it with 10 guys on the field.
There you go, Christian. Good job popping that thing through there, buddy.
I mean, that was all sort. That was like Heart Attack City for the coaches, right? I mean, they're trying to protect on an extra point to tie the football game up with 10 men on the field, and that's it. They tried to get a late guy running on, and they snapped it instead.
The holder did a good job. That was a little bit of low down there, too. Did a good job of getting it on. So that was a really good play. A big point there, too. Again, we got 3:19 to go, but, man, we got a game today, Brent. We got a good football game.
This is our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690, and this is what we've been waiting for. 14-14 here at the Graveyard. Love coming to Reigns High School. The Vikings, 2-time defending state champs. Sandalwood with all that talent, including Jeff Sims, headed to Florida State. Willie Taggart was here to watch him earlier in the game, and now the Saints have come back with 2 touchdowns in the second half. They've tied this thing up. Huntley scoring from 24 yards out to do the honors, and with 3:19 to go, it's 14-14 here on ESPN 690. If you want to see a good finish, you can check out the video on our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And of course, we'll have the Friday night blitz later tonight.
Let's see what we're going to do. They're going to try to kick this thing deep here, Brent, give them a return. If not, they're going to give them good field position, so you got to sort of pick your poison. Looks like he's going to pop it over towards their bench. Is that Hobbs on the right deep?
That's McGee on the near side. And it looks like Stewart. Now Burke on the far side. They kick it over Burke's head. He goes back and catches it like Willie Mays at the 3. He's trying to bring it back, and good job on the kick return team.
Really good job.
They don't even get to the 15-yard line. Reigns will have to set up shop just outside the 10 here on what could be a final game-winning drive.
I'll tell you what, right there, that was a big-time kick for them. It kept them. They packed him. They haven't kicked it deep except the one he almost broke, and he booms that one, sends the guy back. Willie Mays, as you said, over the back, and then they've got really good really good opportunity here. Remember, turnover, anything here changes the whole complexity of the game. So Rain's got to be aggressive, but not be too aggressive on what they're doing.
All right, so here we go. 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line for Rains. 3:13 to go in a tie football game here at the Graveyard. Adrian Williams, the QB. He's going to hand it off, and not much doing in the running game that time as Sandalwood swallows up the back. That's Nigel Smith.
Yeah, Bowling was the linebacker in on that fit in, got up underneath the puller, and got up in there. Really nice job right there by Bowling. Really good job. Again, that's been a good run play for them, that counter with the pull off of it on it. So I think if I'm them, I'm going to attack the right side of the field on the pass game stuff.
So 2:45 and counting now. 2nd down and 8 from the 12-yard line.
12-yard line.
In motion goes Burke. Williams looks to throw, drops back, jumps up in the pocket, hits a receiver, and he gets popped at the end, but he held on to it, and that's McGee. What a tough catch.
Yeah, good job.
And he absorbed the hit, and it's a 1st down.
Yeah, that was a good job. He bought enough time to get out, and he got the ball out, put it right in the only spot he could get it. Nice catch, and he got the boom load on them. They've been hitting good this second half, Brent.
Yeah, that's Jaquez Robinson, the Alabama commit, laying the boom, but he couldn't force the ball loose. So it's a 1st down out at the 28-yard line for Rains. 2:11 to go in the football game. Tied at 14 here at Rains High School, our Action Sports Shacks game of the week. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan having some fun here. Trips to the right. They hand it off. There's Stewart. Look at the speed. Nigel Smith actually has it in a nice saving tackle. A game-saving tackle after a big gain of 11 yards by Smith. But that could have been more.
Yeah, Sandalwood brought Jennings on the blitz, and they just got enough to turn him out and created a nice little crease for him to get in there. Again, nice little job. You got time. You don't have to be in 2-minute mode. Got plenty of time.
That's Ellis, by the way, on the game-saving tackle. But it's a 1st down now out to the 39-yard line. 1:45 to go in the game. Williams drops back to pass, looking deep, right side of the field. Has a man, goes up and tries to get it, but it's incomplete. No flags, no anything, incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10 from the 39.
Yeah, good ball. That's a good shot. Good 1st down play right there. Take a shot. Had him beat, too, just could get enough mustard to get it down their throat. But good job pass protecting by the guys up front. Trayvon Adams, Hardman, the 76, 72, 75. A really good job by those O-linemen right there.
I'm waiting to see Stewart maybe on a little bit of a screen play here. Jarius Stewart, he is quick. Keep an eye on number 3. Nigel Smith and Stewart now in the game. Burke in the game as well from the wide receiver position. It's 2nd down and 10 from the 39, 1:37 to go in the game. Tied up 14-14, Rains and Sandalwood. Williams rolls right. Looks down the field, flush out of the pocket, might be sacked, is sacked, and there is Jennings. Jennings that time was in the middle of that one, but a good job, nice pursuit by the Saints, and they force a sack.
Yeah, that play took too long. They were bringing the extra pressure. He was trying to roll them out to avoid the pressure, and they didn't do a very good job of the route combinations up top as far as what they're doing. But I liked your call about they were going to bring pressure. They brought pressure on 2nd down, get that screen out there. Boy, I like coaching from up here, Brent.
Yeah,
it's a lot
so
of
do
fun.
I, Coach, really. I mean, I'm 0-0 in my coaching career, so this is fun. 1:22 to go in the football game. 14-14 is our score. Now, the sack brings up a 3rd down and very long for Rains, and maybe you see it here. A nice safe play to keep the clock moving and give Jarius Stewart a chance to break one. They're back at their own 33-yard line. Elijah Jones along with Jennings in on that last tackle on the sack.
Yeah, again, they did a good job, but again, this is it's 3rd and you don't want to force it here and get the turnover and give them enough time to get back down. But then again, you want to be enough aggressive where maybe you can at least move it to be able to get a good punt to get them down, not have a short field, because if they don't get the 1st down, they're going to get the ball back eventually.
So here we go, 3rd and 17.
Rush 4.
Snap, the little screen to Stewart on the right side. It's well defended, though. Can he break through? No. Big hit at the end by Jennings, and he laid some wood. No penalties or anything, but he's got that Saints sideline fired up, and even more importantly, they bring up a 4th down for the Rains Vikings with 1:04 to go in the football game.
Yeah, Sandalwood taking a timeout.
I had to hold my breath a little bit on Jennings there. That looked like a hit that was kind of high.
He was coming hard. He didn't launch. He don't really launch, Brent. He sort of runs through people.
He does, yeah.
You know?
We've seen a lot of guys going backwards. Brandon Jennings has been unbelievable in this football game. I mean, really good.
We've seen some really good defensive kids in our 6 weeks that we've been doing this. But I'll tell you what, that has been as impressive as a guy running sideline to sideline, and what they do with him is anybody we've had this year.
Stewart got hit pretty hard. And the senior back is being looked at here on the near sideline. It looks like they already lost Butler in this game, the other quarterback. They split time, but Raines is getting beat up a little bit on a Friday night here at the Graveyard. Now, Neely has done a nice job punting. He's got a big-time duty here because Embry awaits back at his own 25-yard line on 4th and 10, 4th and 11, 1:03 to go in the football game. High snap, he rescues it, but it's partially blocked or shanked. Hard to tell. Gets a Raines bounce across midfield, down inside the 40-yard line.
Man, they brought the pressure, and Ellis came over there and he jumped. We couldn't tell if it was just shanked off his foot or if he got a hand on it. But, boy, he should have took that off the foot. That would have been a game changer.
Well, still, they'll set up with good field position at their own 38-yard line. And now you get your Florida State commit at quarterback to go to work with 54 seconds to go. And really a good kicker. So,
yes,
maybe you have to get some 35, probably 50 yards here. You don't need all of it, but you probably want to get 40 to 50 yards to give yourself a chance at a field goal late in this one.
Yeah, you don't have to throw the bomb every play. You can work the outside. You can still work the middle. I believe they still have 2 timeouts because they've only burned 1.
Yeah, Schultz has a big leg, Christian Schultz, for the Saints. So here we go. Trips to the left. 54 seconds to play from their own 38. They swing it outside from Sims to Huntley, who scored on the last possession. Not much doing, though. The Raines Vikings shut that down, and I would think Geis is going to have to call a timeout here. Maybe not. They roll the clock, 41 seconds.
They got to get them lined up.
Saints should be in a little bit more of a hurry,
shouldn't they? Got to get lined up.
35 seconds now.
Unless they only have 1.
30 seconds. A gain of maybe 1. Second down. Going to hand it to Huntley. Are they playing for overtime, Coach? How about that? 20 seconds. Huntley, no gain, maybe lost a yard.
Now they call timeout. What the heck?
Let's see who called timeout. Sandalwood does, with 13 seconds to play in the football game. Not sure I understand it.
Well, they let 20 seconds run off the play before and then run a run play and then call the timeout.
Embry has been really good. Quick strike ability.
Yep.
Huntley just scored from 24 yards out to tie the football game up. You have a quarterback going to Florida State, and they had a minute to play with at least 1 timeout. Late in the game of a tie game. I understand you don't want to make mistakes in this situation, too, and give Raines another chance.
And they've had a hard time covering Kinsley, the big, tall kid, all night, So, but again, maybe he's just being safe, playing for overtime, which is okay, too.
Yeah, easier to coach from up here anyway.
Coach. Man, I like this, man. I ain't got no stress. I ain't calling no plays. I'm not yelling at anybody.
If that was you down there, I'd be ripping.
So would everybody else, too, right?
13.3 seconds to go here at the Graveyard. Our Action Sports Shacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Hey, we got a dandy. This is awesome. 14-14 is our score. It's now 3rd and 10. Sandalwood at their own 38-yard line. Now let's see what they do. They open it up a little bit and take one crack at it. Sims is going to run it and hand off to Embry, who could be quick strike from back there, but nothing doing, and that's going to end regulation.
Yeah, we're going to overtime. We haven't had one of those.
Very conservative playing on Sandalwood's part to send it to overtime. But when you were down 14-0, to get back to 14-14, maybe they say, hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Forcing overtime is a pretty good deal.
We got some free football tonight.
And that's what the Saints have done. So a little extra time on the Action Sports Shacks game of the week on ESPN 690. While they figure out things heading into overtime, let's take a timeout. We'll be back with one heck of a finish coming up on ESPN 690. Some more Friday night football in our game of the week from the Graveyard, Raines High School.
What's good, Stephen A?
If you're a New York Jets fan, let's just say this. Damn, you can't catch a break. I mean, the New York Jets, when's the last time they've been relevant?
Catch Stephen A. weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Well, Coach Kevin Sullivan just informed me that we could be here all night for this one. We're going to overtime here at the Graveyard. Rains High School, Sandalwood High School. We got a good football game, 14-14, as they get set to figure things out, who will get the ball first. But the format, as you well know, you start at the 10-yard line, you get 4 plays from the 10, then you flip sides, and the other team gets the chance. So unlike college football where you take it from the 25, in high school you take it from the 10.
Right.
And no 2-point conversion musts.
No.
At all.
Not at all. And it's the same as one guy gets a chance, they score, they tie, they flip sides, and they do it again, and it goes back and forth to 2. If it goes to a third overtime, they flip it again, and they go back and forth. And it looks like you want to play defense again like everybody does in overtime. You want to play defense. The advantage is that Sandalwood does have a kicker. We haven't seen Rains attempt. Oh, yeah, they've kicked the extra point. They've been pretty consistent with the extra point, too. So we've got it. We're okay on the kickers on that. It's different than in college. Remember, college from the 25, we should be from the 10.
Okay, so after the coin toss and the overtime rules at midfield, Sandalwood will get the ball first at the 10-yard line of the Saints, of the Vikings, excuse me. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan. Overtime we are on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, our first overtime game in the history of our Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Well,
Jeff Sims will do the honors for the Saints and get us going.
Well, we knew this was going to be a good one, Brent.
Absolutely. Embry in the backfield with Sims. Now he sends him to the right side. Sims, shotgun, gets the snap, throws it to
Touchdown.
Kinsey in the end zone. There might be a flag down, but Kinsey's got it for a touchdown. And one play, one score, the Saints take the lead. Something fell in the end zone.
I think it's a towel.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's 2 picking up the towel.
All right.
Running back. Harlan's picking
Huntley
the towel.
says, I lost my
Huntley,
towel.
yeah.
There's no flag. Kinsey's got a touchdown. And Sandalwood has taken the lead 20-14.
I said that they didn't bring any pressure, so he came off that. He had his time, and he just let him clear along the back and threw it in the back corner. Real good ball.
Kinsey's had a nice football game. He caught a touchdown earlier in this one, really showing off his length at the wide receiver position. And Sims to Kinsey, an overtime connection for the lead.
They're missing one.
Here we go again.
They missing a guy again, Coach? They only got 3 on the right, 4 on the left.
Well, Schultz for the all-important extra point. Might have got somebody to jump. The extra point is up and good. Whether they had 10 or 11, and I think Rains was even offside, the extra point's good.
So what do you do? Take points off?
I think they might have even blown the play dead. Let's see. They're making them do it again. They blew the play dead before they snapped the ball. So Schultz will have to do it again.
They better get an extra guy in there. They're still only got 10 guys on extra point.
Well, they've proven they only need 10. They've done that a couple times.
They got to kick it again.
But see, this is why I don't like the offside rule right here. Now you have to make them kick it again.
Let's see if they're going to get 10 on.
He made the kick, even with the offside.
But wait, they got to get the other guy on, too.
Here he comes.
They're going to play with 9 now. Oh, there we go. Now we got 10.
Now a timeout by the Saints.
He might go for 2.
I think he's just trying to get his player on the field, Coach.
41's got to get on the field.
They have been all sorts of out of
sync
on the extra points.
We got to work on getting the special teams on and off the field, too, this week. That's a must.
That will be a Tuesday practice.
Monday. I think I started on Monday. That's what I'd do.
All right, here's the deal. Rains and Sandalwood. Rains led this thing 14-0. Then it was 14-7. And Sandalwood tied it up with 3 minutes to go to make it a 14-all game. We're in overtime right now at the Graveyard, and Sandalwood just took the lead on the first play of overtime. Sims to Kinsey. It's 20-14. And now the long-awaited extra point after an offside penalty and now a timeout by Sandalwood. You're right. They could decide to come out of this timeout and go for two, although I'd be a little surprised.
Kicker's still out there, so I don't think they're doing that. But again,
Schultz has been really good.
Yeah,
again, Christian Schultz.
Snap's been good. We haven't had an issue with the snap, knock on wood. That's what they said. I just jinxed him. But he's been good. Do they have a 11 on? That's what I want to know.
Well, let's hope after the timeout they were able to get 11 on.
Christian Schultz on for the point after attempt.
They only have – oh, yeah, there we go. He was on the wrong side.
So here we go. We're going to get this extra point up, and let's see if they can get it in. Schultz, the snap is low. Nice job by the holder.
Good job.
Schultz kicks it through.
He's
got a really good leg.
Very
good poise, too, because he didn't budge after that low snap. And Sandalwood has taken a 21-14 lead, and we got an upcoming drive for the Rains from the 10-yard line that could determine the football game.
You got to give credit to the holder on that. That was a little short hop skip right there. That was a really good job of getting it down. And again,
I think that was Embry, by the way, on the hold.
I would be too, because he's done everything else tonight. He's probably driving the bus home.
So here we go from the 10-yard line. It's Rain's turn to get the football. Nervous time here at the Graveyard for the Vikings.
They brought a big...
Trying to avoid 2 and 3. Williams.
They brought a big extra lineman in on the pull play.
Hands it off to Nigel Smith. Smith has it inside the 5, and he's being pulled back now. So a good first down carry.
Yep, good carry.
From the 10-yard line.
They brought in another lineman as the tight end on the left side and just sort of wash it down. They've had success running to the left.
Tell you what, Nigel Smith has run hard.
Yes, he has.
Downhill.
The thing I like about him, when he sees it, he sticks his foot in the ground and goes,
So we're going to call it the 4-yard line. It'll be second down and goal from the 4.
We got somebody hurt. Two guys going down.
I thought some people were cramping at the end of that play, and I think it just happened. Of course, we're in overtime now.
We got a lineman over here going down on the side. He's going to, if he falls down, we might get a little thunder on the ground. We got him down, and we got the running back.
Why is it always the calf that cramps up?
Man, mine used to get him in the hamstring, but it's always the calf first. But, boy, you get those in the hamstring, it's brutal. We're in week 6, so it is cool. It's a little muggy to start, but once it went down, it went ahead and went down pretty nice.
It's Juan Young, by the way, for Rains, big offensive lineman. He's the left guard, so that could impact a couple plays down here near the goal line if he can't get back out there. And then Nigel Smith, who ran down to the 4-yard line on the previous play, also experiencing some cramps. 21-14 is our score. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jax game of the week on ESPN 690 has lived up to the billing.
Yes,
we're fired up about that. It's been a good football game. 7-0 at halftime. Rains jumps to a 14-zip lead. Sandalwood scores 14 in a row. Will now make it 21 in a row. They scored on the first play of overtime. And here we are, Rains second and goal from the 4-yard line. They need to score a touchdown and at least add the extra point to force a second overtime.
Right. Most definitely.
But we still have a couple players down on the field experiencing what we believe is cramping. Big offensive lineman on the near side right around the 5-yard line. And Nigel Smith, who's had himself a nice game, out around the 12-yard line, being worked on by trainers and coaches.
Well, they've had both running backs play a little bit tonight, so I don't think that's as big a deal, him cramping up, because they've used both backs anyways. So, but I'll tell you what, man, this is fun. This is fun.
That's what it's all about. That's why we wanted to do it. Have some fun on a Friday night and bring you some video as well on our social media platforms. So if you're just listening, turn on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you want to do. We got it, the video and the conclusion of this game right there. And then if you missed some of the highlights, we can show you those tonight on Action Sports Jax's Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Thanks again to Mr. Chubby's Wings, Baker Sports, and Lusab Honda The Avenues for their support of our Action Sports Jax Game of the Week. on ESPN 690. This has become a long delay now on a second down and goal from the 4-yard line here in overtime. But Nigel Smith continues to be worked on. And maybe this is more than a cramp for the running back. You know, Carlton Butler, the sophomore. There's Smith coming off the field now. But we've seen in the entire second half, really, Carlton Butler, the quarterback who was looking good in the second quarter.
Yes.
That touchdown
he hasn't been
that
back.
they scored,
Yep.
he got dinged up, and he's actually still on the training table trying to work out a leg injury as well. But we haven't seen him back in the last quarter and a half. So it's Adrian Williams, who started the football game at QB, but shares the duties with Butler. And here we go, back to action now in overtime, 21-14, Sandalwood in the lead. And are we going to get a timeout?
We've got Jalen Griffin in the backfield now, 17. You know, he had the long run way back in the first half.
Griffin started the scoring with a 65-yard touchdown run on a jet sweep. That was the second play from scrimmage for the Vikings. They've only scored one other time since then.
Yeah, big 75 was laying over there on this side, cramping up. You got to stay out one play. So we're going to have a couple backups in on the offensive line. But they have played a bunch of different guys, so that shouldn't be a big deal.
So McGee and Burke will be split out to the right.
They're going to run that back thing to the left again, Coach.
Griffin in the backfield with Williams. Second and goal. They need a touchdown.
Same play.
They give it to Griffin. Griffin out of the left side and into the end zone for a touchdown for the Reigns Vikings. So it's 21-20 and an upcoming extra point or 2-point conversion for the win.
I'd run the same play. I hate to say that. I think he's going for 2.
Rand Wiley talking about it right now, and we'll see what he does. 21-20 is our situation in overtime, and the Vikings here at home have a chance to win it with a 2-point conversion or kick the extra point and go to a second overtime. Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field.
I think they're running it again.
Griffin just scored. Adrian Williams, the quarterback.
Man, I love it right here now.
Leading the charge. And everybody all fired up here at the Graveyard. As Griffin's in the backfield once again. Here we go for the win.
Same play.
The Vikings give it to Griffin over the left
He's
side.
in.
He'll walk
Over.
into the end
Yes,
zone.
sir.
And the Reigns Vikings win the football game over the Sandalwood Saints in overtime on a 2-point conversion, 22-21.
They found something on that left side. They brought one of the other big guys in over there, took the tackle, who's been playing outstanding tonight, the tight end, and they've caved that whole side down, and Sandalwood had no answer. They just went big on little and basically took care of business.
Griffin and the entire Vikings football team taking a lap around the track after they win this football game here at home and move to 3-2 on the football season. What a football game here at the Graveyard.
Yeah, I tell you what, but Brent, that's been exciting up here, man. This is what we've been waiting on for about 6-7 weeks, man. This is awesome.
Really good stuff, and congratulations to both teams.
Yes,
that was a good comeback
good
by
game.
Sandalwood.
Yep.
We saw some big-time players, some big-time plays, both sides of the football, but Reigns finishes it off. Griffin started the scoring with a 65-yard run. He gets it done in overtime with a touchdown and the 2-point conversion. And the Reigns Vikings beat the Sandalwood Saints 22-21 in a dandy here at the Graveyard.
Man, that's exciting. I love it right there, man. That's awesome right there.
You
Great
sure you don't want to
finish.
coach anymore?
No, heck no. I'm feeling good about both teams, man, did a good job, man. It was a really well-played game for the most part as far as the football part of it, but really good, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And both now shake hands. And Loren Wiley, Adam Geis, nice job. Their seasons now move on. But this was a fun game, awesome game here on a Friday night between Sandalwood and Reigns. We're going to take a timeout. We'll put a bow on this one. How fun was it? 22-21.
A lot of fun, buddy.
The Reigns Vikings beat the Sandalwood Saints in overtime on a 2-point conversion. We'll wrap it up next.
The Stephen A. Smith Show.
I don't know what would make him think I would care about it. I don't give a damn whether I'm blocked on Instagram or not. Not like I tried to Instagram him directly. Anybody thinking about trying to post something on his page?
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Anyone can get on the radio these days and say whatever they want. But how many people back up what they say? Beards Diamonds does. Here's Ben, the second generation of jewelers at Beards.
I grew up here. My dad started this business 38 years ago, and we are constantly working to benefit the customer. Not only with the best prices, largest selection, highest quality jewelry and service, but also a price protection unlike any other store offers. We know how good our diamond prices are, and we're so confident they can't be beat. But we want to make sure that you know. That's why Beards Diamonds is offering you a $500 gift card if you can find any GIA certified diamond for less, anywhere in North Florida. Yes, a $500 gift card. Anyone could say they have the best price, but Beards Diamonds absolutely proves it and has been for 38 years. But don't just take our word for it. Shop around and compare. You'll see Beards Diamonds will not be beat.
Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center and at beardsdiamonds.com. The final whistle has blown and the game is over. We're breaking it all down on the High School Football Game of the Week postgame show. Here's Brent Martineau.
Oh, what a beauty that was as the Reigns Vikings continue to celebrate a big win over the Sandalwood Saints. 22-21 in overtime on a 2-point conversion. And they make it. And the Reigns win to go to 3-2. Sandalwood now has dropped 3 games in a row, and this one in heartbreaking fashion. Brent Martin along with Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week was an awesome one. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Friday night. A beautiful night it was. And as we kind of put a bow on this one, Coach, you think about all the big players in the game. We talked about Brandon Jennings. He was awesome, right? Ellis was really good. Jeff Sims comes up big. Kinsey, Embry. I mean, you name all those guys. And then on the Reigns side, Adrian Williams steps in, leads the charge. Nigel Smith, Jarius Stewart. They really got some helpers from all the way around. And at the end of the day, Griffin started the scoring, and he ends up finishing the scoring. Jalen Griffin, the junior, 5'9", 155 pounds, 165-yard score to start it, a 4-yard run, and a 2-point conversion to win it.
Yeah, I tell you what, and the thing about it is the Smith went out with the cramp right before that, and they left, and they moved Jalen back there. Griffith's back there, and he took it, got the points, and they went right back to it again. And again, they brought an extra big body on there, and I think they just got big on big with the beef, man. And it was just too much for Sandalwood. Sandalwood doesn't have those big guys up front. It's a tough loss for Sandalwood. I thought they played good, showed some really good resilience, but tough loss. Great job getting the 2-point play by Reigns, and good job coming back by Reigns.
Yeah, you called the 2-point conversion as well. You said they should do it, and, I think Duran Wiley was listening to you. Let's now go to our Lou Saab Honda the Avenues drive of the game, and we could pick from a couple of different things, but let's go to the shortest drive of the game. That was a 10-yarder in overtime. After Sandalwood struck on the first play, Reigns comes back. You just said it. Griffin able to get in from 4 yards out, and they noticed something. They called the same exact play for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and it was exciting, too. I mean, Sandalwood scored on the first play. Had to kick the extra point twice, did it, came out. Reigns scored 2 plays. It took them 2 plays to score. Yeah. They said, hey, we'll go for the win, man. We're at home. Let's do it. Did it, same play, went in untouched both times, and again, good job by Reigns. Really good high school football game tonight, Brett. That's what it's all about.
It really is. I love it. Awesome stuff. Glad that we could be a part of it on the Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. And we're glad Lou Saab Honda the Avenues is a part of it. Lou Saab Honda the Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy, bringing us the keys to the game and also the drive of the game. Want to also thank Mr. Chubby's Wings and Baker Sports for our Coach of the Week each and every Tuesday. Keep an eye on this Tuesday's show on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6 for the winner of this week's Baker Sports Coach of the Week. If you missed any of this action in the game of the night here in Northeast Florida, we'll have it for you on the Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Hey, man, that was a lot of fun.
That was good, man. I enjoyed that one.
Now, look, Reigns gets Ribault next Saturday.
That's going to be huge.
Big game.
Yes, sir.
Sandalwood now upcoming. They've lost 3 in a row and a couple of heartbreakers in that 3-game losing streak. Well, they got Mandarin and Bartram Trail, and that tough district just keeps piling up.
Yep. Well, that's what it is when you're in 8A football, especially that district. That's a big district right there. And, again, they just got to keep playing, man, because they've been in the games and stuff. I thought they did some really positive things tonight. Sandalwood, and they just got to keep going, and the kids got to keep playing. Man, they got 5 more to go. They got to keep on going, and Rain's got the big one next week, and again, it was a big win, and they're used to winning, and I think that might have been the difference tonight.
We made an audible. Where are we going next week? Columbia and Lee, I think.
Yeah, well, I think we're in the backyard. That means we're going to be in the classroom. We're going to have our own classroom.
We're in the backyard
Yes,
next week on a Friday night for some Lee Generals football against Columbia, who might be the best team in the area.
Well, I'll let you know. I saved all our stuff from week 1, so I figured we'd see them again. So we'll get to compare if they've had guys get hurt and everything. But I'm real impressed. They've had a couple DBs I heard get hurt, but as long as number 11, the Smith, is not hurt, they got a chance to beat anybody. That's a good special football player.
Yeah, Jordan Smith's a special one, and we'll see him next week in the backyard against the Lee Generals right here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Thanks, as always, to Stuart Weber for checking in, Mark Doherty for doing the camera work. Hopefully you got to watch that one on our video platforms. Thanks to Justin Kuzart back in the studio for hanging out with us on a Friday night and pushing all the right buttons. And as always, thanks to you for listening on ESPN 690, ESPN690.com, and watching our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690 on all our social platforms. For Kevin Sullivan, I'm Brent Martineau. What a night in the graveyard. 22-21. The Vikings beat the Sandalwood Saints in overtime on a 2-point conversion. Have a good rest of your night, everybody, and a good weekend. We'll see you on the Friday Night Blitz on CBS 47 and Fox 30 later tonight.
Thanks for listening to ESPN 690's High School Football Game of the Week. Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. for Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau and Austin